Hello everyone, welcome back to some more Trails into Reverie. Yeah, I just wanna send this through to a few other people. Alright, let's get started because I don't really have much time today for this. I just want to make sure I can get this done. In a somewhat short time. Alright, let's get going. Ah! Oh, Ash, I didn't realize he had those things to shoot. I wiped my ass with rougher stuff. Yo, is that the Zero Artisan Toval? Nice going, Ash. You just keep getting stronger. Sure do, but those weak links weren't putting that to the test. Whoa, you were a big help all the same. Could have wrapped up everything in a day without you. Since I still can't get over you volunteering to take out monsters, though, what brought that on? I was in the area to visit my mum's grave anyway. Hey, Kiseki. Had to take the day off school to do it, so I figured I'd put the time to good use. Oh, right. Spare me the meaningful downcast stick. Just figured I'd better come let her know the war's over and everything, that's all. Couple that with getting pretend I'm embraced over it, and it wasn't a bad way to spend a day. I think you could do a lot more than pretend if you wanted. Being wanted to recruit you at some point, since you're such a natural, suppose as good a time as any. Give it some thought, yeah? So got a year to decide what you want to do after graduating. Like I said, I was just trying to make the most of my day. Ash as a bracer would go hard, but I don't know if it really fits him. I never committed to being a bracer. Okay. Okay. Did you do that? I haven't done the mini games. I don't know if I'll do some today. I might like check some of them out. I don't really feel like doing too many of them, to be honest. But we'll see. Of course you didn't. You're just looking for somewhere to run. When Zephyr invited you to join them, you should have accepted it right then and there. Still had things to take care of. But not anymore. Now everything's wrapped up in a pretty little bow. What a damn joke. In the end, your assassination attempt got hand-waved as a false report, and here you are living a charmed student life. False report my ass, it was regicide. Regicide. For you to get off scot-free, there really is no justice in this world. I love how a lot of these are quite literally like... I love how a lot of these daydreams like are quite literally like, why the fuck is Cold Steel's writing just like this? You know, it's like, why the fuck did these characters get away with no consequences? Like, it's funny that that's literally like a common theme among a lot of these daydreams. You know, it feels like they're going, hey, what the fuck were we doing in Cold Steel 4? Hey, May.
その通りだ、アッシュカーバイド。だから、シュバルツァーやあいつらには悪いが、俺は今月いっぱいで第二分校を辞める。
Thor's open house. Well, clearly, it's funny. It's like clearly that didn't happen, but like, you know. Great, another boring ass assembly is exactly what I was in the mood for as soon as I stepped back into leaves. Apparently, Principal Leguin has some kind of announcement. Oh, I wonder. What, got any ideas?
I believe your homeroom teacher should have informed you yesterday, but just in case any of you missed the memo. I'm pleased to announce the branch campus is its very own open house starting a week from today.
Excuse me?
As I'm sure most of you know, Lowell's main campus hosts an annual festival. Under normal circumstances, we'd hold something similar, but being strapped for time in our inaugural year, we're trying something new. As a matter of fact, we weren't planning on any events this year, but then along came something that changed our minds. That would be you students. You've all grown considerably in the years since enrolling. There's still so much for you to learn, but with that, you're hardly the helpless little fledglings you once were at the start of the year. Indeed. Thanks to your field exercises and combat experience, the branch campus has earned a reputation rivaling the main one. No longer does the school exist in its shadow. Oh, excuse me. And we'll have you all to thank for that. Stand tall and be proud.
Stand tall and shake the heavens, Xenogears?
Where enthusiasm was once anemic at best, we're now inundated with applications for the coming school year. I hope you're all excited, soon you'll be upperclassmen to a new fresh crop of students. It'll no longer just be us on this campus, who would have thought? Sounds rather exciting. How will you meet them all in person? As you may have surmised, this open house is for the incoming class. During this time, the campus will be open to the public. You can expect many a prospective student to visit. Your job then is to demonstrate to these visitors precisely what the Thor's Branch campus is all about. Consider it your first opportunity to learn what it means to be upperclassmen and set the best examples. Needless to say, please don't embarrass the school. Now then, time is of the essence. Get to work preparing for the event. That is all dismissed.
Alright. I know there's no more gameplay things for these, Daydreams, because I've got all the analysis. The day of will be split into two sections, morning and afternoon. In the morning, will be open classes. The structure will be slightly different from usual, but you don't need to do much of the way in prep. If anything, that's for instructors to deal with. That's for us instructors to deal with. Yes, Urban, you managed to live up to crowd's expectations, oh mighty Ashen Chevalier.
Since we're having open classes though, we can't let our guards down either.
Exactly. Friends and relatives might drop in to see you, so be prepared. I'm starting to get nervous. Anyway, starting today, I want all of you to use your time after school to prepare for the afternoon section. I spoke about it a little yesterday, but you guys are the main attraction of the afternoon's festivities. Every club is going to be holding an event and inviting guests to come see them. That being said, you don't need to prepare special stalls or booths or anything. The whole point of this is that clubs hold events that are closely tied to what they actually do on a day-to-day basis.
I see. That'll allow us to prepare something in a short period of time. It's a perfect way of introducing the school to potential applicants and advertising our clubs, two birds with one stone.
You guys can discuss things with your clubmates to figure out what you want to do. There'll be no class presentations this time around, so you should be able to focus your attention squarely on that. And that's about it. I'll let you know about the curriculum a little later today.
Excuse me.
That'll do for today. Perfect timing, too. Altina, if you would.
Right. Stand bow.
I'm gonna talk to Jessica and Louise.
I also have to talk with everyone from the swimming club.
I'll go look for Sydney. Alright, Ash. That leaves you with duties as a member of the organization committee. What the hell are you talking about? Yo, Schwarzer, explain yourself. Alright, I totally forgot to mention it. Sorry, but I've been meeting with the other instructors. Muse, could you explain things to Ash for me?
But of course.
Thanks, I appreciate it. So what's this whatever committee?
Well, you were absent yesterday, but we talked about it during homeroom. The primary job of the Open House Organization Committee is helping the various clubs and making sure things work as planned on event day. Each class has to choose one person for the job, you see. And after careful consideration, Class 7 picked you, Ash.
What the hell are you?
It's mandatory, each class has to pick someone.
I get that, but why me? I ain't got time for this BS.
You were out of luck the moment you were absent. Now then, I have to attend a meeting with the Tea Ceremony Club. I think I speak for everyone. When I say we all appreciate your dedication to this, Ash. Ta!
Are they for real? Who's that green-haired character? Doesn't exist. Hi, Tyler. I've just got 4 Daydreams left, so this one, the one with Reen and Osborne,
and then the 2 white ceiling stone ones. Which I imagine are going to be the most substantial, but I am curious about the Reen one.
Damn it, why am I stuck doing this executive committee bullshit? Ain't like I'm sticking around for this joint much longer. What's the point?
So about the open hashes.
Yeah.
You have to do it selling theater, don't we?
Uh-huh.
Do you have any ideas? What if we get people with quiet space to read and serve them nice tea tonight? That could be nice.
Maybe.
What do you think? I'd like to hear your opinion.
Yep.
Ash, are you listening?
Sure.
You and Kurt seem to be getting along awfully lately. You almost went around to more time with these books.
Guess so.
Ash, wake up!
What? Where's the fire? Damn.
I'm sorry, it's just you look like you're deep in thought. I was starting to worry. If you need someone to talk to, I'm always here to listen, okay? I know I probably can't do all that much for you, but still. You always help me do so much. This time I want you to be the one who helps you!
Huh. What am I even doing? This isn't like me.
What are you?
No use getting so worked about dumb bullshit. If this is the last thing I can do here, might as well make it count. You know, I think I'm gonna go all out.
What do you mean?
I'm on the open house. I'm on the executive committee for it.
You had me helping you around the van? I didn't know that.
I didn't exactly volunteer for it. Let's just say it fell into my lap.
Is that what's been bothering you, Ash?
Sure, I guess you could say that. Something along those lines.
Ash from the executive community, huh?
Tatiana Peak. Hi, Astra.
The more I think about it, though, it's that the role's perfect fit for you, Ash. You're going to do great. I'll be working for you the whole time.
It's just grunt work, nothing to get that excited about. It'll get taken care of. More importantly, we need to figure out what we're doing as a literature club. Where I see it, we can't half-ass this thing. Unless we go all out, all the other clubs are gonna make us look bad.
That's true. What do you think we should do?
That's a million mirror question, ain't it? Well, we all offer a recommendation service. People can come in and we'll suggest books based on their mood and tastes. We could use the library and everything.
Well, that's a good idea. That sounds like the perfect thing for a group like ours.
But we can't stop and call it good. It'll be late if that's what we have. Maybe we should set aside time for live reading.
That's a wonderful idea. Let's do it. But who's going to do the reading, and what are they going to read?
What do you mean who's gonna read? You. Who else is there in this club?
Me? I can't read in front of many strangers. At least come up with me, Ash.
Afterward, Ash, together with his fellow committee members, Leonora and Stark, spent the ensuing days toiling away on the open house. Eager to make the most of his limited time, he poured every ounce of his energy into making the event a big success. With his help, many of the school's clubs were able to prepare in time despite the short deadline they were faced. After a long week of preparations, it was at last time for the open house to commence. That morning, and just like that, a revolution took place in Calvard and led to a massive transformation of its political system. I love the little bits of Calvard lore they're splicing in every here and there. It's such a funny thing. No, this is the thing, you know. I wouldn't really think twice about this if I didn't actually know that the next game was going to be in Calvard. Because, people say it's very obvious where you're going next. They haven't explicitly stated, oh, we're going to Calvard next, like they did at the end of Azure, where they were like, oh, we're going to Erebonia next. Which, fair enough. It's still pretty obvious we're going to Calvard, you know, with the introduction of, Ramhart and all that. And I know we're gonna see Beauty's Blade today. There's very little possibility that we're not gonna see that today. So, you know, it's they're gonna make it obvious, but at the same time, I appreciate, being able to know, oh, look at all this. They're talking about a revolution in Calvard. I wonder if that's gonna be relevant when we get to Daybreak. I'm just saying Daybreak because it's easier when I'm speaking in English. Anyway. In order to forge better ongoing relationships with our neighboring nation, it's important to understand the democratic ideals that form the backdrop of...
It's a reaction, Chevalier! It's much more serious than I expected. How dashing! So jealous of the students here.
He's ridiculously popular. Kind of feels like people are here to see Instructor Reen than the other class itself.
This guy feels so thankful too. Glad to see him today. You're in no position to talk, Gert.
Lecture on the arts of the military academy. The idea is well and good. I've got little doubt it's not but frivolity.
Come on, don't be like that. All people well educated in the fine arts. As people well educated in the fine arts, it's our duty to warmly watch over them. Children all around you, Gwen. What's a Rakshasa doing here? She's a principal. I don't think she cheats the class regularly. Let the lecture begin. First, to be clear, social standing and qualifications mean nothing when it comes to art. While some pieces require some measure of knowledge to understand, all interpretations up to the person experiencing the art. I'm going to assume that everyone present understands that extremely basic concept. Am I correct? Check it out the class. And now today's class is open to the public. Love for some of our esteemed guests to speak about the arts. Principal Lacune is not to be messed with. I feel for them, but they did this to themselves. Real. This is cute. This is really cute. Man, a mock battle between students talking about letdown. I was hoping to see the Golden Rakshasa and the Action Chevalier digging out in person.
No kidding, this people are gonna waste your time. I got a level with you. I was hoping I get to put Short's new playthings into his places.
There's no way. You should have known better then. There's no way we can show something like that to the public.
Yeah, well, seeing as we've got an audience here, might as well put on a good show. Your game. Oh, wait, actually gameplay, but it's probably a mech thing.
Oh, you bet I am. Don't expect me to go so easy on you guys. I'm giving this fight everything I've got.
Ready, set, fight.
No, it's actually disgusting. I was like, oh, I can't hear the singer over the sound effects. And the moment I started hearing it, I'm like, oh god, it's fucking sort of biting Gale. Oh my god.
What the? These are good suit skills. That's why they would listen as soldiers.
The sound effects are so loud.
No kidding. I recruit them in the unit of Accurate. I got training in the getting you.
Oh, sort of biting Gale. We're actually hearing it again. That's so funny. I guess the idea is to use Cold Steel 3 music for all of this, but you know. Class is finally over. I'm dead tired. It's hard to ignore the eyes on you. Reverie not escaping the allegation. Don't rest for too long. Your main jobs remain undone. Especially yours, Ash.
And whose fault is that? I did my damnedest to help out. So you all better not waste my hard work.
Roger that. Better get to our respective clubs. You'll be checking in on each of them, right?
Yeah, just to make sure no shit suddenly hits the fan. It's annoying as hell, but I'm already on board.
Okay, so we can walk around, I guess.
Alright, guess I should get going. This is really it, no regrets, huh?
I knew we would have fucking NPC dialogue, of course we do.
そんじゃまずはあっちの方から回ってとこのだだっ広くて面倒な校舎にもすっかり慣れちまったもんだ
Anything on the rooftop? Well, we can. I can actually fucking fast travel everywhere, that's funny. I don't think there's anyone here, so... This is an NPC sweep time! Woo! Hi, Monk. Let's on this place. Okay.
なんだ
Where did this come together? I'm not crazy about the fact I'm on the organization committee. I didn't know about this, but you just vote for the one you support, a ballot box. And then learn our stock, so does that. Which club has the best showing? How dumb, man. I'll take a look later.
It's Blue Block, everyone. He's fucking messing with this.
Aw.
I'm gonna go outside, because I know there's a bunch of stuff. Actually, no, this is the only one in here, so we'll do this first. Hello. Ash, thanks for keeping up the tabs on all clubs.
I'm not worried about whether or not you could handle things alone, but it looks like you're doing fine.
Yeah, I'm still second to the guys, but I'm managing. I forgot to chat with the female guests about all kinds of books. I managed to turn a few new people onto Dorothy's novel.
Cool, whatever floats your love boat.
Plus, the book recommendation corner is surprisingly popular. The books here are property of the school, so I can't lend them out, but Becky made sure that if there are any books people could like, they can buy them immediately. Really great for hard work.
Bedros, please, sponge can profit off the open house. Well, either way, it looks like things are fine here.
Yep, and just know you'll do great at your job as community member, Ash.
Man, just worry about yourself. You have your light reading to do.
Oh yeah, get into the club room to prepare. When the time comes, I'll be waiting there.
Yeah, I got it.
Lowbrow smart. Can I actually check these? Also, hi Rosine. I love how Ash figures it out immediately. I'm in. Oh, it's all this stuff. I mean, I know it's all the same, but you know. Let me read up on the Vern Company. Vern Company uses a story to, particularly with innovative approaches. Oh yeah, they don't even talk about the whole fact that it's not like, I guess, privately owned. Okay. Oh god, there's people. Hello, Celestin. Celestin, you came! Indeed I have, though I've only served you for a few months before the war. Something had to come when I caught wind of this event. You've grown indeed. I wonder if Frankie can meet Shara again. Did we ever have that in Gold Seal 4? I don't remember.
Just puzzle the bit. Go around somewhere else.
Can I even go this way? No, I don't keep. Okay. That's a lot of fucking characters. Holy shit. Oh, this happens after. Must happen after the Cortina one. I see.
Oh man, so this is where I got a lively place. Hey, I know you and Nori, so we work together.
That's right. Ah, look at this.
Alright, tennis club. Looks like they're putting on an exhibition match and a tennis match.
Take this. Ah! Attention everyone, the tennis club is holding public exhibition match. It's a fun sport.
Looks like they attracted a decent crowd. Even the Phillies family came to spectate. Huh?
Yeah, fine. The chicks are down.
Great, we got a couple creepers on our hand. Any day out of there, kick your ass and be done, but I gotta take them a delicate approach, yeah. Hey there, you two.
Hey, uniform! You just you started hell you over her. What's your problem, shall we?
Relax, yeah, I'm not here to start any beef. I mean, come on, do I look like some pet preppy hole monster snitch to you? Give me a break.
You got a point, you don't look honest. If anything, you look a bad influence.
Takes one to know one, jackass. Look, I get it, okay? That's why I came to give you a warning as a matter of courtesy.
A warning about what?
Take a look around. You didn't forget where we are, did you?
No, we're only here to eye candy.
That first part sink in. You're freaking military academy. Those aren't ordinary schoolgirls you're ogling, my dudes. They're trained to be professional soldiers, the war kind, you know. If push comes to sexual harassment, they can take a weapon out of reach. They can take a weapon out of damn anything near reach. You saw them smacking around that tennis ball. The thing flew like a damn bullet. Now imagine you on their bad side. You want and one of them went sliced serve with the racket. How do you think that panned out? Look, I don't know. Your skull's gonna get smashed, that's one, and it won't be a tiny fracture either. I'm talking about complete cranial crushing dust. Real? Oh, that'll be the least of your troubles. I can deal with that right now. Does it get any worse than that? A lot of rich girls here from families with ties to people you really don't want to get on the bad side of. When it gets out that the Deodors are any sort of trouble, there'll be hell to pay. Kind of hell I'd really rather not even think about. Like, damn. Take it from me, it sucks being here, it's suffocating. Got eyes on you wherever you go. Guy can't catch a break. I mean, if you fellas want to try your luck, be my guest. You're way braver than I am. I'll be rooting for you, at a distance, quietly. If you're lucky, you might walk away with a few bones intact. Might be worth a shot. Only one way to find out, yeah? You know what, I think we're good. Look at that desperate for action, dude. Yeah, I think we better go. It took them long enough. What a complete waste of my time. Maybe I should have just pulled them aside and beaten the crap out of them, saved us all the trouble. Man, I really have gotten substance coming from here. This sucks. Kick some butt, Yuta! Go, Yuta! Is this, no, just the model. Okay, we're done outside, I think. There's still the clubhouse, but let's go to the platform first. I love Sonada. This is so funny hearing Sonada try to do something like that. A lot of music club. Performance that'll linger in your heart forever. Clever. Okay, I assume they actually got permission to perform here. Still, not bad, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Been a little trio's biggest audience set. Thanks for sharing your energy with us and helping us put our show over.
Aye, we're rocking the house today, down to there. But the food is just said, listen, you realize, let's get wild.
She's usually so stoked, but look at her now.
You mean Valerie? Yeah, you can actually hold a conversation with her these days.
Says the pot about the kettle.
Not my fault if folks can't hang.
That's just what makes you special.
Come again?
Anyway, the show's wrapping up. Things are gonna get messy when people try to leave. Can't help me play Asha.
If it ain't one pain in the ass job, it's another. Fine.
In 1 hour. Okay.
Yeah, the crowd was great, and suppose I can spare the crumb of validation for those dogs today.
It was vibing. Hello.
Hello. The cooking club, huh? The dining room really does look like a bona fide restaurant.
3 additional orders of Arabic tomato omelet rice. Got it, coming right up. Order up, smooth mash, potato sundae. Running.
Ooh, now that's what I call bustling. But the girls can cook so well enough to rival any restaurant, so I'm not surprised. If I'm worried about anything, it's... Here's your Freddy Open Style special. So let's keep you waiting. It's a lavish dish filled with all kinds of special ingredients. Please enjoy. Too late. Hopefully don't complain later. What is this? It's magnificent. Simulatingly aromatic, rich on the palate. Aftertaste. We have to play it, sir. Ingredients. A press. Foodie friend. Looks like they got some customers too. So I guess it's fine. I'll admit. Modern Music Club, hi. Woo, Modern Music Club. Hey, Astra. Okay, weirdo, you have fun with that. Hey, Sandy. Hey, hold up. Can I go to the store? Yes. Hi, Hugo. I'll go to the hangar while we're here, actually. Probably just Schmidt up here. Schmidt. Yeah. Am I mistaken? Rackham then can't open house. Why is it so noisy? Alright, clubhouse time. It's the clubhouse, everyone! Here's the tea ceremony club. Looks like they're running a tea room and a hands-on event. Hold on, what the hell is this girl chasing cameraman like you doing here about? Oh hey, one of these students. How's the open house treating you, man? Enjoying it? Enjoying it? Buddy, I'm running this joint. You didn't answer my question. What's got you all excited here?
We had a guest who wanted photos of the hands-on portion to keep as a souvenir, you see. And it just so happened Rex was here in the room, kindly volunteered to take the photos for us. Ever since then, he's stuck around out, guess, as our go-to photographer. It's a lovely little arrangement if I do say so myself.
Yeah, it turns out a lot of people want to pose all the club members in their fancy kimonos. Not that I'm complaining, I get to snap tons of pictures of not just Muse and Maya, but whatever hotties drop by.
Interestingly enough, it's the girls who ask my services more than guys. Kai over there has the most popular request.
Real talk, I'm a little jealous of the guy. Can you keep it fawning over how cute he looks and everything? Why that can't be me?
Speak for myself, I've mixed feelings about being cute and day in and day out, huh?
Doesn't sound like such a raw deal to me. You're making your customers happen. What more can you ask me?
True, you're a good point. Women of Erebonian lot for nothing less than perfect hospitality for their guests. Being cute was what it takes to be it.
Alright, there's this one. Chess club. Okay, what was the chess club's deal again? Right, an amateur chess tournament with open registration. Let's see how that's going. Checkmate! So much for getting my revenge. I thought you were doing well and it wasn't. You're tough as ever, Kurt. Don't sell yourself short. Your extremely aggressive play during the midpoint was genuinely harrowing to confront. If Marcus hadn't shooted me recently, I wouldn't know if I escaped that. Look like a man's on a roll, attaboy.
The checkmate. Oh, I lost again. I've been in the chess club for a whole year and this is the best I can do to you like such a loser. Don't. I'm honestly shocked at how much you've improved in such a short span of time. I didn't think you'd put remotely this much of a fight, and yet you did. It's like night and day compared to when we previously played against one another. Do you mean it? Kurt said the same thing, but I thought he was just being nice. Well, in that case, maybe we can play more together. Sure, I guess, but only for a little while. Yes, the best of my life.
Well, look like Sydney's got some game after all. Gotta admit, he's pretty capable as long as he doesn't get ahead of himself. Well, everything looks good here. On to the next stop.
Alright. It's everything here. Now we go downstairs. I think it's just this now. Yeah, cool. Swimming club, and then it's more reading.
Alrighty, for the swim team, we've got swimming lessons from Stark and Wayne's muscles training seminar.
There's a great place to start, but there's no better teacher than hands-on experience. What do you say we'll get our feet wet?
Makes sense, but I'm a little scared. No need to worry. We have kickboards for those who require them. Feel free to buy one. Borrow one if you need.
How's the day, German? It's alright. This is cute.
Like a living doll or something. Aren't you sweet? What are you doing, letting her out of here? This seems unfair. We're the same year as them, yet they treat me as if I'm some little girl.
I don't let it get to you. Maybe they can't tell, but the rest of us know how mature you are. I promise.
Guess things are going well enough for the little bunny. The software said I'm sure everything will just fine. That's for Wayne over there. The key to muscle training is to balance your load carefully. If you work too hard, you'll get some. Instead, you must increase the load gradually. Once you find a suitable routine, you boys can have a glorious muscles like mine. What do you think of these guys? Pretty cool.
Those are good muscles. Definitely muscles. Sure, you're ripped, but they're just muscles.
Never underestimate the splendor of muscles. Muscles combine power and beauty into a singular survival form nothing else compares. When push comes to shove, you can only count on yourself, and shove comes to heave, only your muscles can have your back. Who knows what the future might have in store? Build muscle and worry later, I say. Excuse me, but I have a question. I admire your enthusiasm, son. Ask away. If there's anything you wish to know about muscles, I'm here to help.
The muscles make you popular, Lucas.
Well, you see.
Yeah, I was wondering that. Me too.
They say women are attracted to the confidential one, but it's available in theory anyway.
However you say so, mister. Oh, look at there, you guys. Wow. You can have muscles for days, but nothing that beats a handsome face like that guy. You got that right. Wait, don't go. You must believe in the power of muscles.
Sheesh, dramatic much. Oh yeah, Micah's a job. I haven't seen any sign of her. Damn in the dumps. I've never seen her so dejected. Alright. Can I get out of here, please? Thank you. I think we're done then. Should have checked everywhere. Guess I got to the literature room. Alright.
Guess what Principal Logan was true. He actually let a professor shoot within the school today.
Funny how things work. Considering when this place first opened, there was nothing but a jumping ground for a bunch of castaways.
A little harsh, don't you think? Anyway, I'm glad to see lots of new students will be joining us this year. That should be fun.
Yeah, next year.
With any luck, that should mean we'll get more people to join the literature club too. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Yeah, that'd be pretty nice, I guess.
I'm concerned we'll be good role models in the kind of community you think about.
Hey, if anyone's got a good handle on that crap, it's you.
Really, you think so?
Of course I do. I think you have new members looking up to you and coming to you and help in no time.
I hope so. I'll have to do my best to be a good leader to everyone.
Plus, with all new fees kicking you, you wanted to putting up with me any longer.
No, what do you mean any longer? What do you...
Almost time for the live reading. Let's grab our books and make our way over to the library.
Things went off without a hitch, and the crowd seemed to have a good time.
Yep, done and dusted. But I was pretty shocked you managed to not freak out during the real deal.
That's because you were reading with me.
Well, I am a member of this club. If I didn't pass this weight short, it would never let me hear the end of it.
Oh, I don't think that's true. You have your job as committee members, after all. So, what are you said about the reading?
Well, time to get back to doing the rounds. You'll be fine on your own, right?
Oh, yeah, don't worry about our club.
Catch you later.
Hush.
The open house is over. Finally, I guess I'll do another round around the school.
Okay. Oh, hey there, Ash!
I see they've been keeping you busy.
You can say that again. What are you guys doing all gathered out here? You punks playing hooky or what? I didn't take you to be slackers like hoisting stuff onto other fools.
Something like that. Looks like all of Class 7 is here now.
Yeah, weird how it worked out.
You guys telling me you didn't plan this? You just happened to end up in the same spot?
More or less, we each went our own breaks. Our own breaks in search for a place to relax at the same time. Before we knew it, we all found ourselves here.
Yep, what he said. We weren't coordinating at all. Just worked out this way.
Well, unlike the rest of you, I'm still on duty, just to be clear.
Be that as it may, I'd say it's a testament to the bonds we forged at Class 7. It's anything it's simple or wonderful. Come on, Ash, you're already here. Why not stick around for a chat in a little? Fine idea. We still have some time to spare, so it shouldn't be a problem.
Alright, you win. I'll join you guys. Now spit it. What are you guys talking about? Airing your grievance with Georges or something?
That's the first thing that popped into your head?
There she goes again, bashful as ever. Unlike me, I'm simply dying to tell you about how much I adore her beloved instructor.
You're on the polar opposite side of the spectrum, Missy. You're too open with your feelings.
Well, where's the hand for you two?
Like your Betty, any better, you little bunny?
I realize I'm not one to talk, but in hindsight, Instructor Reinsure has assembled a class of rather colorful characters. That's an understatement.
So you say, but I don't get the impression you've troubled Instructor Reen all that much.
Come to think of it, you may be right.
What do you expect? He's a model student. Of course he doesn't go out of his way to make life hell for Schwarzer.
You say that like it's somehow out of the ordinary. Still, I wouldn't say it's entirely true. I had my family stuff to work through at the start. I was even a little impudent. It was only later that I started making a point of not causing problems for our instructor.
Yeah, so you started to sympathize with the guys, is that it?
I don't know, I could see that. After all, Instructor Reen Kurt, like Instructor Reen Kurt, definitely has a fans among girls here.
To say the least, it seems quite a number of girls visiting the campus today have something of a soft spot for him, meaning we have another womanizer in the making on our hands.
Now, that's a bit of a stretch, isn't it? If anything, I see him as an example of what not to do, rather than someone to emulate.
Ha! He's lucky he's here, not here till all this poor stuff can't catch a break.
That aside, I think it's kind of great how new Class 7 is just the 5 of us. We each have our strong points, weak points, it keeps things interesting.
Indeed, it allows us to come together and compensate when someone struggles.
I suppose we do strike something of a balance when you think about it.
I think it's thanks to our small group that we've been able to grow and overcome so much. Even if one of us was missing, I doubt if even one of us was missing, I doubt we would have come nearly as far.
Yeah, maybe not. I doubt losing one or two would have made much of a difference.
There he goes again.
What else is new? I believe that Ash is what they call a tough nut to crack.
Yeah, think what you like. Whatever, I'm gonna go. Whatever. I'm gonna get back my patrol now. Peace.
Ash, wait.
What now?
Jokes aside, try not to stretch yourself too thin. Don't think you always have to shoulder responsibility by yourself. You're never truly alone.
Thanks. But you've got nothing to worry about. Believe me, any quarters that can cut with this crap are getting cut. Okay, I'm off, for real. Try not to slack off too much now, yeah?
Oh, Ash.
Dang it, he never makes things easy. Oh god, more dialogue. Is it all the same, actually? Yeah, it is the same, I think. So we're good. Hi, Reen. Hey, Ash, doing your community member rounds.
What do you think, smartass?
So how's it going? Sounds like the literature club is going well.
Yeah, well, left all that to tidy out.
And yet I saw you participating in the reading. You weren't too shabby either.
You were watching?
I just happened to be passing by, so I took a peek.
Anyone told you that nobody likes a peeping Tom?
My bad. Couldn't help but be curious about how my students were faring.
Right, whatever you say. But I guess you're always like that, prone to sticking your nose where it doesn't belong. You've always been running around all day looking after people.
Yeah, actually.
Figured, so I hadn't seen you anywhere. Not that I'm complaining, thanks to you, I had an easy time of it.
Well, as an instructor here, I've been trying not to get too involved.
Says the guy who'd probably write a formal letter apologizing for jaywalking.
That's the fucking weirdest backhanded insult I've ever seen.
But I guess there are people out here that appreciate it. Ash. I just don't want to owe you anything.
Ash. I'm gonna keep sticking my nose into people's business, that's just how I am. And that goes for your business too. If anything comes up, let me know. I'll come running. I'm your homeroom teacher, okay?
I told you that part of you is so damn annoying.
Is Reen down here? He just disappeared. Green is dead. Let's go.
Carbide, did something happen? No, just for the regular report. Open house proceedings well. I see, good, what about that? You seem busy. Yes, well, end of the year paperwork on top of issues regarding the open house will do that. Not to mention dealing with successor. You're quitting the Grange campus at the end of the year, right? I am. The RMP is understaffed. To be honest, they asked me to come back right after the war ended, but I managed to get them to hold off until the end of the year. The current placer instructor Herschel's to take my place. We're bringing in a new instructor to fill the role she's vacating, so you kids don't have to worry about anything. I ain't worried. Good. I suppose I'm the one worried about the branch campus on my way out. Now that I think about it, it was all for naught. You kids have grown tremendously in the last year. Look at you, the #1 problem child when you got here. Now it's someone you can people will rely on. I'm not some sort of model student. I think you were spot on with your first assessment. Regardless of what you think yourself, it's a path that people around you trust and depend on. So I hope you can see this committee job through to its end. Yeah, you don't have to tell me twice. You know as well as I do, I'm a good well, it's a cigarette. Anyway. Cool. The Gwyn, I'm guessing, is next. No, Toa!
Doing the rounds, Ash?
Yep. You checking the equipment?
Mm-hmm. More importantly, I'm sorry I can't be much help with keeping things running. I've been busy handling the VIPs today.
Hey, no point in apologizing to me. Plus, ain't this whole thing, open house thing, about making our students do the work?
I guess you're right. So bringing back to an house this year, our school festival was quite the event.
I heard a little about that from Crow. Apparently recorded some footage of it.
You don't need to see that. Jeez, Crow, what are you thinking?
Well, now I really have to get him to show him something.
No, I've officially bid you as instructor. By the way, on our second year, I was the student council principal.
I heard, pretty easy to imagine.
You think? Honestly, a little tough, but everyone on the council helped, so did Dream. So I managed to hang on to the very end.
So what's on the student council?
No, not quite. But he was always accepting our requests. Even outside that, he was constantly helping people in need.
Not like he's any different now.
Oh, I think it's nice. Anyway, it was a hard job that put a lot of responsibility on my shoulders. It was equally as fun as worth doing.
Cool, bully for you.
Anyway, sorry to keep you here. We both better get back to work. You got this, Ash. Take care.
Yeah, thanks, I guess. Up here? Randy! Someone is looking coming, trying to get you a job of doing open house. What? Never seen someone on break before? Sheesh. Not like there's that much for us instructors to do in the afternoon anyway. The other three are workaholics anyway. They practically got everything covered. So why not put my feet up and take it easy? In other words, slacking off. Wait, don't tell me you're getting sentimental or something. I guess you could say that. It's bad like this. I really did hope to see you kids through to your graduation. Man, I gotta say, never took you for the sappy type. What's a big deal? You're just going back to your crossbow stomping grounds at the end of your damn world or something. I love anything. I'm glad to see you go. It means one less adult to get in my eyes about something stupid. Oh, the growing you've done, that mouth of yours could still use some work, punk. Don't get me wrong, it sucks to go, but I'm not worried about things going south without me and help to steer your ship. You kids are plenty capable now, not to mention you've got Reen and Toei. You couldn't be in better hands. If you say so. But he's not wrong, I don't think the others will have any trouble with those two around. You know something, Ash, I realized a while back, you and I were not all that different from each other. Alright, who are you and what have you done with the real Randy? I'm serious, man. Oh, I didn't mean to skip that. We both have, let's say, colorful pasts, and we both tend to put on a brave face and not look bothered over anything. We also tend to act laid back, yet try to shorten things around. See where I'm going with this? It ain't all bad. Sure, we had rough starts, but now we've got places we belong, surrounding people who respect and accept us. I guess what I'm trying to say is, it wouldn't kill you to lean on those around you once in a while when you need them. Being there for the others and being able to count on them being there for you is what love and friendship are all about. You jump in at shadows. It's not like I'm trying to be Mr. Lone over you or anything. You don't have to remind me about that mushy crap. I get it. Believe me. Sure. Consider it a little reminder.
I guess I just go in a door and then it will say it's done. I'll send it past my vote. Alright. Which club had the Modern Music Club? Let's go! It totally doesn't matter what I vote for. After a portion of the Thor's branch campus, open house came to a close. The visitor departed the school grounds in good spirits, satisfied with the festivities. As soon as they were all gone, Principal Le Guin summoned all of the students and faculty onto the field for another assembly. I'm pleased to announce that both the morning and lectures and afternoon club activities were both morning pursued. Suffice to say, the open house proved to be an excellent showcase to the general public of how far we've come in a short span of time. Couldn't ask for a better conclusion for an eventful first year on this campus with all of you. Successes such as this only made it possible thanks to the very hard work and effort put by every person involved, no matter their role. Impressively, despite the many hours you all have put into this, not a single one of you looks exhausted now that's behind you. If anything, I see excitement and anticipation for the future in your eyes, a wonderful sign of what's sure to come. Time for today's main event. I don't get it, all the visitors are gone, does nobody else want to... Now to the student council presidential election branch campus. What? Nobody says anything about election. Hiya! It's me, Min, everybody's favorite engineer. I'll be your MC for this segment. While Instructor Toe is over there tabulating everyone's votes, let's give our candidates the last introduction. First up, from Class 9, Military Finance, the branch campus is highly capable social butterfly. You know him better as Stark. Next, from Class 8, Combat Tactics, the branch campus heaviest hitting, never consistent Lenora. And finally, carrying for Class 7 Special Operations, it's a campus punk with heart of a gold who everyone trusts, Ash! Are you shitting me? It goes without saying that this inaugural Student Council election is a very special occasion. As you all know, these students were nominated with their respective classes, and when all is said and done, one of them... Hey, Schwarter, what's the deal? Mind telling me what the hell's going on here? What's there to explain? The ones who got to serve on the open house executive get the run for the president. The efforts were running things were helping the clubs were essentially a campaign to show everyone what you're capable of. You gotta be... This isn't you to me! Muse, I thought I told you to give him a rundown last week. But Instructor, you see how he's reacting. If I told him he was up for election ahead of time, he would have quit on the spot. So I decided to leave that part of the interest in the student body. Why, you set me up! Look, what Muse did might have been a little mean, but we all did come together and choose to nominate you for President Ash. Are your heads on straight? If anyone's in a student counter, it's phony looks over there, not me. You could have picked Mr. Hotshot honest you. Hell, Philly would have been better. She's a freaking loose cannon. Really, just about anyone here would do. Well, anyone. Little Bunny, well, almost anyone. Little Bunny probably not. I've been a little more discreet, but I don't disagree. I am neither suited nor interested in being president. Well, in my case, my hands are already full with the duchy. Besides, you know me, I prefer scheming in the shadows over work out in the open. Less scrutiny that way. Mint Peak. Indeed, Astra. And not a red shame to be found. As for me, I'm also busy following in the footsteps of my predecessors at the Vander School. In that sense, I don't think it would be right for me to lead people. Or not now, right? Anyway. And I'm the last word you want, or the person you'd want filing paperwork and doing all the administrative stuff. That's fair, you're more the type who prefers being out in front, taking the charge rather than commanding from back. Taking all in that to account, we will to realization. Your best candidate for student council president is you, Ash. It wasn't simply a process of elimination. We nominated for you and your ability to get things done, and also to support others. Accepted, Ash. At this point, it's too late to change our nomination. I admit I would have preferred you to probably volunteer for it before things got underway. Be that as it may, I also happen to agree that you're the best man for the job, Ash. This isn't funny, you guys. This ain't something you just... Look, there's Instructor Cho. That just demonstrates. Here, I'll leave the rest to you. And now the moment you've all been waiting for. The final results are in. Let's see. Wait a sec. Unfortunately, one person's vote had to be invalidated. It went to the Modern Music Club. It says it was efficiently rocked. I have to disagree there. Unfortunately, that's not what we're voting on, so it doesn't count. So that's what the ballot vote was about, damn it. Anywho, on to the final results. In third place, with 4 votes, is Lenora. Take what you get. Thanks everyone who voted for me, I really appreciate it. Second place, we have Stark. To be honest, I'd be lying if I was going to take on the mantle and get to work. Oh, well, it's not to complain getting second. Well, if those two came in second and third, then that means I think you've all narrowed it down. But finally, the first place with 10 votes, exactly twice as many as our second place candidate, the Thoughts Branch campus' first ever elected student council president is none other than Ash Carbide from Class 7. Congratulations! Yeah, that's awesome.
Good for you, Ash. There's nobody more perfect to be our president.
Agreed. I always knew you would win.
Are you shitting me?
They love him. It's great.
You shouldn't come first, ha ha! Laugh at the century, right? You're not gonna really do it, are you? You just don't know when to give up. Ash Carbide is truly pathetic. You think I don't know I'm unfit for it? How couldn't you? You're so weak you couldn't even beat me. How the hell do you expect to set a good example for anyone? Said I know. You'll never stand shoulder to shoulder with anyone, never as a friend, a confidant, or as a leader. You can put money on that. Whoever voted for you must be out of their damn minds. It's beyond laughable, isn't it? Come on, Ash. Let's hear you laugh all this fast. Said the biggest joke of you yourself. Ha 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 ha. Shut the hell up! There you are, Schwartz. It took you long enough.
What's the occasion, Ash? Why'd you call me up here? You need to talk about something.
You could say that, yeah. I got something I need to tell you.
Well, you might want to make it quick. The others are going to be starting your after party very soon. Things can't kick off without the man of the hour, you know.
An after party. Better call it farewell party and it's said and done.
I got the chase sorted. I'm resigning from Thor's. Is that it?
What the?
How the hell do you know? Give me a little credit, Ash. It's my job to stay on top of the students and their thoughts.
Well, you read me like an open freaking book. Happy now? Because I sure ain't.
Let me ask you this. Does this have anything to do with what happened between you and the Emperor? His Majesty's doing just fine now. He's back to full health. And he personally forgave you for what happened. It's water under the bridge.
You think I don't get that? Just because he's forgiven me doesn't mean that I can.
And so your solution is to pack up and leave, is that it?
Yeah, that's right. That's all I had to tell you. Peace.
Ash, wait. I respect your feelings, but I want you to stay with us.
What's it to you?
I thought about playing the good instructor and listing off a bunch of rational reasons why you should remain here, but I can tell you that you thought this through and feel sincerely about it. I won't try to reason with you, I'm simply going to speak from the heart. Ash, I really do want you to stay put, and not just because you're one of my students, I hate to see you go. I consider you a friend, a partner who's gone through a whole lot with me this past year.
Oh, give me a break. Just once, can you not turn this into a corny-ass speech?
You'll live. I think of the rest of Class 7, I think they'd be pretty sad if they didn't get to graduate with you.
Yeah, right. Unlike what happened with your gen, I'm the only one I'm dropping out here. No one's gonna miss me for some good-for-nothing jerk like me.
You don't really believe that, do you? You need to open your eyes and take a good look around if you believe no one here appreciates you.
Now, what do you mean, wait?
You're right, that's not all.
Son of a, you guys heard all that?
Not all of it, but some. Though it seems the instructor was aware we were here.
We got the gist of things. I have to say, it's about what I expected.
Everyone's worried about you, Ash. You've been acting for some time now.
So you guys wanted me the entire time. Great.
Not just us, look. Ash.
Damn it, you two.
Are you really going to drop out?
Evangelion?
Think so.
Oh yeah, right.
Look at the bright side. You'll be able to read in peace without my dumb ass scaring you. Should be happy.
But I won't. I did find you intimidating first, but you're razor focused when you read your books. You even recommend ones for me to check out sometimes. Whenever I have a problem, it's even if it's silly, you go out of your way to help me like it's no big deal. Most days we both read in silence, it's true. But over time, having you there has made the literature club such a cozy place to be. The silence would be the same without you. I'm so glad we're in the same club together, Ash, so glad. And I'd rather it stay that way. Tatiana. My, look at her, pour her heart out.
Honestly, what she said goes for all of us. Again, you put a ton of thought into this, I really do, nobody's denying that. But we're just as determined to make it to graduation together, every one of us as a class. We'll do whatever it takes to make that happen. Don't you think you could bail us out so easily, mister? Indeed, being rather narrow-minded about all of this, you should really reconsider. Not to mention, I did lose to you in today's Panda Sword Art scrimmage when you caught me by surprise. I'll be haunted to the grave if you ran before I could have the chance to settle the score.
Don't forget me. I would hate to see you go as well. Then I would be the only one tormenting your tea instructor on a regular basis. It'd be so lonely without an accomplice.
As the instructor in question, I'm not sure what to make of that one.
I wouldn't be particularly upset if you left. Ali, but however, it would be sad if I wasn't able to graduate with you. That much I can say with you for certain.
Damn it, guys. It's not just Class 7 either. You're appreciated by everyone here at the branch campus. They need you here. Today's election results are a testament to how vital you've become at their school.
Hey, Ash, what are you doing standing up there? Oh, it's you guys still here? Not for long, we're about to head out. Hi, we're coming to the shindig tonight, you know?
I've got to celebrate something special, so I hope you're getting pumped.
Yeah, see you there, Mr. President. Not you guys, too.
The timing couldn't be more impeccable.
I'll say. Whatever, I don't care, but I'm still...
I'll give it a rest, will you? Principal Le Guin, I didn't realize you were still on campus. There's something I forgot to mention, but before I get to that, Ash Carbide, you don't truly think you can leave this academy with so easily with so much unfinished business now, do you?
So what if I do?
This branch campus hasn't seen a single student leave our ranks to date, not even the war could shatter our perfect record. As principal here, I'm not about to permit our first desertion in such a shameful manner.
Are you for real?
But she's really putting the screws to him. Because yeah, point, given the circumstances, of course she wouldn't be all inclined to accept his withdrawal.
Ugh.
If you really insist, I shall let you go, but only if you agree to fulfill one last assignment as condition for graduation.
Yeah, what assignment?
This demonstration of the fruit of your education of the prestigious branch academy is one of the first students. Something tangible. Though this is an institution with deep ties with the imperial family, you must show its legacy without shying away from it. Surely you owe that much to His Majesty, the Emperor, after all that has happened.
It's hard to argue against that.
Agreed. It sounds like something reasonable to ask you in return. Not to mention, I believe today's election offers you something of a unique opportunity, one you would be foolish to pass up.
Ah, damn it. What makes you think you can boss me around? You have no idea what I'm thinking. Well, Ash, I hate to say it, but you brought this all upon yourself. Now, what are you going to do? So, are you going to turn tail and run from those thoughts, or you confront them head on? The choice is yours. Shit, you guys are playing real dirty, you know that? Gang up on me, goading me at every jump, going straight for the my damn pride. How the hell am I supposed to run off in peace when you go to all that trouble?
Then does that mean?
Let me make one thing clear. I ain't staying because you guys all cry like crocodile tears or something. Nothing like that. I just hate the thought of ditching this place when I've still got stuff left to do. Fine, accept your dumb assignment. I'll make it so good. I'll make good on so hard to wipe that smirk clean off your face. Meanwhile, till it's time to graduate, you better believe I'm gonna be putting all you guys to work, and that goes for the new kids.
Ash.
Now there's the Ash I know.
Yeesh, Ash, can't you admit how you really feel just once? Frankly, at this point, I'd be more shocked if you did. At any rate, this coming year is shaping to be rather fun, and I can't wait for it to begin. Oh yes, Carbide, about that one other thing I forgot to mention earlier. The student council president is permitted to select who gets to fill in the other roles on the council, no election necessary.
That's real, Ash. That's so real.
That is all. Don't let me down now. Princess and Carbide, I should expect great things from you.
Well, sounds like the ranch campus student council is officially underway. Better go to work, Ash.
Well, if you needed something, I'd be happy to be treasurer. Really, I want to help however I can, make your life easier, person. She's the best person for the job. She's already in charge of the branch campus's accounting, after all. But that's right, I think I have to get ready for the after party, so I'll be heading to the dumps.
Not so fast, phony. Like you're trying to run away from me.
Is it that obvious?
Clear as day.
Seems like we had nothing to worry about.
Yeah, but we'll find that out. That Ash is stirring up trouble the very moment I step off this campus, I swear. Oh. So you didn't run away? Yeah, no matter how lame I look, I decided to stay the course. You already noticed, right? The curse of yours vanished a long time ago. I know. Nothing more than the manifestation of my own guilt. Finally, you put two and two together. Guess it's time I was on my way then. No, that's not how this works. You're not going here. Probably not ever.
それでも俺は前に進む。無様に地べたを這ってでも。だから、そこで見てやがれ。そうかよ。いいだろう。なら見せてもらおうじゃねえか。アッシュカーバイド。てめえ自身が選んだ未来をな。
I was half expecting the tong, the thud sound effect. 2 days later. Muse, Ash. Is that Lenora and Stark? Treasure yeah. Secretary Stark, Supervisor Lenora. Vice President Muse, Ash, President Vash. Verified by Principal Aurelia Le Guin. Aw. Nice. That's really nice. I like that. It also took an hour to complete. Oh god.
I wasn't expecting... Most of these daydreams have been like half an hour to 40 minutes. So I really wasn't expecting that to take so much, you know? There's still more for Ash that I haven't... Wait, actually, hold on. Thor's network, right? Erebony network? Oh, why is Ash in tag along? Vice President Musa is so funny, it really is. Through memories aglow. Alright. These last three are the ones I'm definitely most interested in. Three months after the Battle of Yorumanganda's end, Major Revolt had sent me a confidential letter. I had no reason to decline the request within, and so I paid a visit to Valflame Palace.
Could you give us a surprise, eh?
Certainly, Your Majesty! So this is it. This is my dad's study. Yo, it's the Cold Steel 1 opening! It feels a little surreal to be in here.
Understand why you would feel that way. I'd come to sort out his belongings after war's end, but to my surprise there was nothing left to sort. He never was for displaying sentimental goods and the like, but I can only assume he disposed of what little he had beforehand.
I could see that for him, yes. But if there's nothing here, what is it you wanted to give me in the letter?
It would be something I found in the ashes of his fireplace.
This is... Oh my god.
Judging by its date, I should think it came from his diary. Nothing else that remains of the diary itself, unfortunately, but I thought you should still have this. Please take it.
Thank you, Your Majesty. This is more than enough for me. Knowing he treasured this photograph till his last day means more words than I can say. I'm grateful you thought of me when you found it.
Then all is well. He was a lucky man to have you as his son. It was regrettably difficult for me to mourn him in public with his role in this war. But I heard you were able to carve his name into the grave he'd made for your mother at your old home.
Yes, I took the chance when I was nearby for the Greenwich campus assignment. It's a quiet area of the suburbs, so I'd like it if he and my mother could rest in peace there. In time for PK Bank.
Gilead was a great friend to me, and a proud hero who lived in service of the Empire. I shall make it my business to visit the grave myself. I like to visit the Lance Maiden's grave and crossbell as well.
I'm sure they would appreciate you being there. Not that I knew either of them very well enough to speak on their behalf, of course.
That's just as true for me, in a sense. I'd seen him as a politician, but only caught slightest glimpse of him as a father. It's never too late to begin learning more, however, even if he's no longer with us. The great twilight is over, the nation's suffering has come to an end. There's no better time to gather up the pieces we missed during our time of conflict.
Yes, I suppose you're right. God, if the curse didn't exist, Gilead would have been so interesting. Oh, God. Emperor Julian, I love this character, excuse me. The more I look at it, the more surreal it feels. I saw something similar in the Spectral Moon Mirror, but it's hard to imagine he used to smile like this. Also, the thing is kind of transparent. Guess it really goes to show how little I really knew about him. Hopefully I can find more little things like this and take good care of them. Now we're in for a busy day tomorrow, so I better get some rest. Much more as I love him, excuse me? I've accepted the Ebon Knight, but it's not like its will. It's not by its will that I've chosen to bring destruction of the Empire. This is the only way to rid the land of the curse that has plagued it for so long. Did Astra DM MP? Do not listen to Astra. Okay.
To end this world, my loved ones call home. Will require renouncing my very humanity, yet as a price I'm willing to pay. From this day forward, I will see myself as being with soul and iron, being of blood with a soul of iron. guiding all to a future of conflict. I write these words in my diary to show that I have chosen my path, that my will is still my own. I knew I would need pawns to achieve the future I so desired. Not long after having this realization, did I happen upon a boy with the gift of precognition. His name is Lecter Arundel. What a funny twist of fate that he should be that man's son. The boy had accepted the hand fate had dealt him, both his father's crimes and that it would lead him to be silenced. I have given him a new home as one of my pawns, giving him a purpose and a form of revenge. Did I do this out of compassion and the motion I thought had abandoned, or seeing him reminded me of the son I've turned my back on? His father's crimes came to be the whispers of the Ebon Night. There is no reason for the child left behind to carry such the weight of an indelible sin. I know not whether his foresight has allowed him to see the ruin I aim to bring about, but regardless, he's accepted my offer with great interest. One last cold steel for the road. My next meeting has come soon after my promotion. The Chancellor of the Imperial Government. While on state business, I had a meeting with the four Grey Hairs. I happened upon a fascinating young man. His name is Rufus Alberea. He appears intelligent as he is hollow on the inside. He thinks of me as his true father and believes that besting me will give meaning to his existence. It feels almost cruel to find myself being called someone's father again. But meeting someone who seeks to do more than I ever could has been a fine boon indeed. May he show me humanity's potential. May he prove that we are not powerless in the face of the curse, nor are we simple pieces on a game board. I know calling himself an Ironblood, a son of mine, will not be enough to satisfy him. Perhaps, once he finds an answer he seeks, he will be fit to lead in times to come. What does he even do? The fucking change in art style is so fucking funny. Isn't this Sky Third, Gileath? Isn't this artwork from fucking Sky Third? 2 years have passed by since my appointment to Chancellor. Rufus and Lecter have served me well, and word of the Ironbloods have begun to spread. What has dampened this? Excuse me. What has dampened this, just so, is the passing of an old friend from Thor's. The circumstances surrounding his death are highly suspicious, enough for me to suspect that the Ebon Knight was to blame. It was then, when I went to handle the matter personally, that I happened to meet his daughter, Claire Revert. In a clear manifestation of the Ebon Knight's dreaded hand toying with their Ebonian lives, the tragedy has awakened a peculiar gift in her. A kind of enhanced cognition. I chose to leave the matter of her father's death in her hands. And though it pained her greatly to do so, she has demonstrated the resolve to stand against destiny. Thinking this meeting to also be fate, I invited her to join the Ironbloods as well. What she will discover on this road to ruin, I do not know. But on behalf of my friend, I intend to bear witness as she finds it. I visited Jurai, and after negotiating with its mayor, it was agreed that it would be taken as a province of the Rebronians, and around that time, who should show herself as she had been waiting for this moment all along but my dear friend. I heard she was calling herself the Steel Maiden after accepting a position in the society, but when talking to her, she was the same as I remembered. She still thought to express concern for my well-being. With Jurai now under Imperial rule, the seeds of the curse have begun to blossom. The stage will soon be set for the rivalries. When I told her this, she left without saying much more. She deserves so much for what she has endured. I wish I could have let her know, but perhaps she too would prefer to appear strong. The will to stand against destiny, who's going to tell him? A fourth member has joined the Ironbloods. Her name is Milliam Orion, a new model homunculus with nearly the last in her line serial number, Oz-73. As pure and innocent a being as I have ever seen, she is quick to gain a sense of self, developing in a blink of an eye. Milliam has been able to give the other Barnes what I cannot. The more time they spend with her, the more I see Claire and Lecter's expressions soften. I can only hope that through her, they regained a small portion of what the Ebon Knight took away. What a sinful manner of forging sword, and what a fitting manner with the end it is destined to bring. I have long accepted that I will bear any sin for my goal, knowing full well my fate will be to accompany Ishmelga to the Gehenna's depths. Prince Oliver's role in ending the crisis in Labelle was reported far and wide. When he soon returned to the Empire like a hero and abandoned before the King's Arcel, it was almost impossible to escape the story. I visited Labelle to offer my own greeting before his departure. But by doing so, he reminded once more that he's a man of endless surprises. It was as if the lion slumbering within the Empire had awakened and taken form. As I execute my plan to fill the world with conflict, he seeks to find a third way. Fucking hell. His efforts are nothing but a hindrance in bringing about the Great Twilight, but I cannot feel excited by his declaration. If he's going to challenge me, then he had best put up a worthy fight. The conflict he seeks to stop will be great enough to engulf even Crossbell. I look forward to seeing how he intends to counter it. Startle 8, I know. This is so fucking fun, but yeah, it is. Oh god. I received word that students from Thor's military academy would be coming to the capital on a field study, and among their class 7 was a familiar face. I've been given updates on his growth from Teo and Claire, but it was the first time I had seen him as a young man. Could see right away that he'd become just like his mother, a kind soul who'd value the well-being of others over himself. He's a picture of health now, and for that I am grateful. I regret to write, however, that the curse has had a clear influence on him, adding to his internal strife. I knew it was bound to happen. He has a heart that is the one closely linked to the curse. I dare not think of Kasha's face when as she watches us from heaven, or the pain she must feel seeing the cruel fate I've thrust upon our child. Does she know that if he cannot control himself now, that he has no chance of surviving the days that are yet to come? It won't be long before the Great Twilight is upon us. All I can do as his mother does to watch and see how he fares. October 30th, the newly independent Crossbell destroyed our Goralia fortress. As foretold in the Black Orders, is the Terrabonia declaring war on Crossbell. There was one development, however, that it did not foresee. Crow Armbrush, the grandson of Jirai's mayor, who was but an ordinary boy on the surface, belying the searing vehemence beneath his skin that gave him the strength to even match even me. Though everything has been proceeding as planned, he has allowed me to see the heights of humanity's potential for the first time in a long while. At the same time this developed, another came to be as I feared would. Reen Schwartz has accepted being an awakening for Valimar. The Ebon Knight's power grows far ever greater as civil war rages on. The Ashen Knight may prove quite capable, but without its sufficient resolve it will fall against the Ebon Knight with ease. As the one who thrusts upon you, I doubt you would ever want to hear this from me, but only you can change your course. I dearly pray you will find the will to fight against your fate. Wait, those Green and Crow Owls need an official wallpaper, I see. July 18th. The growl of Erebos haven't been made manifest. Prince Oliver had broken through all attempts to obstruct him, searching the scene. All for naught, he has met a tragic end. Human life is but dust to be scattered by the winds of fate. Be you commoner or nobility, hero or villain. Even he was no exception to the rule that felt like any other. His loss is a deeply tragic one, and I had thought him uniquely capable of rebuilding the Empire after the Great Twilight's end. Hi, Tyler. The wings of the hero has broken, and the despair that followed the sword of the end was swung at last. With millions of grievous and buys, the final restraint retaining Reen has been unbound. He has been consumed by the curse, becoming the sacrifice decreed by fate so long ago. I nearly thought he would succeed in suppressing its hold on him with how long he fended off. Maybe for the best that he will live through this miserable period as a mindless ogre. By the time he returns to his senses, the Ebon Knight and I will no longer be of this world. I would ask that he be able to rest until the rivalries reach their quiet climax. Really, it's a Mickey daydream. This is just a recap, but it's interesting to hear it from Gilead's perspective. But it's also September 1st. Operation Uamanganda, the final rivalry is now upon us. Though he fell to the very depths of despair, Reen has rose from the ashes and since fought valiantly for my defeat. The curse's power at its peak, and still he prevailed. I can hardly believe how much he has grown. His friends may have played a part in this, but that alone does not explain it. what has elevated into hearts beyond prophetic imaginings. I wish I knew. I wish as much as I wish I could have learned by watching over Miss Father. This isn't like me at all. I shouldn't be losing myself as such critical. Should he somehow defeat me, my son will force to bear the full weight of the curse's power. Yet, if he has the strength to oppose me, then I will take it as my first and final paternal duty to see him wrested from my grasp. To hope for miracles in this world is a fool's errand. Still, Goddess, are you so merciful as to lend your ears to one such as me? If so, then I pray, please shine your light on Reen's something, something, something. Yeah, it's cool hearing his perspective as his character is very inconsistent. It's like, the moment you get to the Cold Steel 3 stuff, it's like, oh. If so, please, Reen's future forevermore. That felt too real to be a dream. Unironically seeing like fucking Coroner Zero's plan from Conquest. This is just drawn out Mickey. I could be wrong, but I think I'll trust my God on this one. He was always prioritizing the happiness of others while shouldering burdens that one should never have to bear alone. Like father, like son, huh? I love how you can see, like, there's a bit of this picture that's actually transparent or something. There's like an effect underneath it. You can see it, like, staying still. I don't know if it's showing up on stream very clearly. I just wish I could have done more for him. Aww. Oh my god, that's fucking great. You have a picture for this as well? That's awesome. I don't know. I like it, but also like Lamau. You know? Like God. Those are all tag-alongs, isn't it? Huh. I wonder what I missed for Ash. And Laura. And Fee. I wonder when I missed this stuff. I guess I must have missed it at some point. Alright. A little Avatar domination. Alright, are we ready for the sequel bait?
Like, give me one moment. I kind of get the feeling that this one's, given that Graham Hart's in the background there, this one's gonna have a lot of fucking teasing for Kuro, Daybreak. Whereas this one, I feel like is gonna be more series heavy. That's how I feel. But we will see how we go. Xenosaga.
始まりは遠く、終焉もまだ早い。
Creation, trails from creation, get it?
うつろで確かなる前立によりて駆動する世界という螺旋は、あなたが振り返ることでのみ、真にして美なる顔を表す。
As it's true, okay.
後ろの正面だれ。人、耐えられるや耐えられざるや。
Hello. It's the Mickey crew. Hello, McBurn.
いや、いるんだろう。
あなたがここを訪れるのは10年ぶり。レオンハルトと共に剣を授けた時以来ですか。
Yo, it's Nayuta and Kreha, get it?
カンパネルラの導きなしによくここへ至りました。
McBurn really broke into the Robots Discord mod channel.
取り戻したあなたならば造作もないでしょうが。
ああ、今の俺ならあんたの正体もつかむことができる。もっともしちまったが最後、この姿は保てなくなりそうだな。なるほど。やっぱりそういうことかよ。俺と縁もゆかりもねえ世界の話。じゃあ済まされねえっつうことか。
ええ、ナンバーワンとしての務め、今しばらくは果たしてもらいましょう。使徒でもゼロでもなく、1なればこそ果たせる知るべたるかがり火の役目を。
いいだろう。それなりに愛着は湧いてきている世界だ。しかしその様子じゃ鋼の後釜の目星もついてるみてえだな。
ええ、しばしの猶予の後に背負いし重みがゆえ、選ぶのはあくまで本人次第ですが。
へえ。ちょっと待ちたまえ。
Is this Gramhart? That's 6. No, it's Novartis. Okay.
俺の断りなしに好き勝手やってくれたみてえだな。
He found out.
いや、それは。どうしてそれを。とりあえず主よ、失礼いたします。至急ご報告したいことがあるのですが。
Get out of here,
ちょう
Novartis.
どいい、マクマン。君に聞きたいことがある。先ほど精神で観測していたエリシオン消滅までの再現シミュレーションが強制途絶した。結社関連でもなく財団や教会の仕業でもない、想定外の勢力の介入としか思えない。しばらく音沙汰がなかったようだが、何か知っているんじゃないのかね。俺が知るかよって。ああ、そういうことか。破壊が言ってたあれじゃねえのか。
The Earth broke
最
up.
近いろいろと動き始めてるっつ
Out of or red. Are we talking about the organization that... hello. That sounds like... Hello, Graham Hart.
おいおい共和国でデビューしたっつ
カルバード共和国新大統領ロイ・グラムハ
Alright.
ートどうしてこの青春の間にいやそれより今のマークはやはり
MTSO.
別に彼らと直接の関わりがあるわけではない。
I'll have to double check what that said, but...
申請 CID 経路でとある筋か
Yeah,
ら
okay.
仲介してもらっただけでね。随分高くついたが、すべてニラ次第というのは、こういう時には明快でありがたい。お初にお目にか
As
か
the
る
president of Ouroboros
ビクラ
Discord.
ウヘビのグランドマスター殿。
Mm-hmm.
その様子では私の訪問を待っていてくれたようだね。
ええ、我らの次なる計画における最大の潜在的競合相手。細まきながら新大統領就任、ことほがせていただきましょう。
これは丁寧に。ところで一つ提案がある。これより3年、いや2年半くらいでいいのかな。その間互いが進める計画について
Oh, okay.
相互不干渉にしてもらいたい。
こいつはまた
なるほど。鉄血殿とは別の意味で手強い交渉相手のようですね。受けたまわりました、ロイ・グラムハート大統領。我らの最終計画の第3永劫回帰と、そちらが始める世界の可能性に迫る計画。これより2年半、相互不干渉といたしましょう。
ディール成立だ。
I'm gonna have to watch this again, because I think there's a few things that I'm just missing.
それ以外はぜぜひひと行こう。共和国憲章に抵
But
触する。
yeah.
一定
So
の
don't commit a crime in my country, is what he just said. Zero encounter. To be continued. The Calvard Republic awaits. There it is. I was gonna say, it's the first time they've actually quite said that the next game's gonna take place in the Calvard Republic. Look back to look forward. So hold on. He said, your scheme to test this world's potential for 2.5 years. Okay. Alright. So who said that actually? So his scheme is to test the world's potential. Interesting. Ready for the last one? Yeah, fuck you, play Kudo. That's the only time it's said so far. Beyond the Reverie time. Let's turn off Turbo. These are but minute fragments of memories drifting in an endless ocean. Memories of what will be in the near future. Is this just a trailer for Kuro? Wait, is this just a fucking trailer? Anyway, could they be shadows of the tangled threads woven by Elysium? Or perhaps faded illusions that slip through the cracks of time and space? There are none who know the answer. Huh? An unconventional student. Another hot springs paradise. I guess I see both of them.
January year 1208 of the Septian calendar. This is next year. Between two great mountains at a typical Calvardian basin sits Long Lai. The town is known for two things, being the eastern entrance to the Republic and its exceptional hot springs. Through these enticing factors, does it continue to welcome tourists hailing from both home and abroad. Yet today it served guests quite unlike its many unseasoned visitors. These had come from another renowned hot springs paradise situated in the northern regions of Arabonia. Hello. The depth of flavor in food here is just exquisite. Agreed, the Physics Wings food is certainly nothing to sneeze at, but my doubts I could replicate this dish's unique taste. The Bishan's Inn reputation continues to recede itself. Barontown Lady Lucia Schwarzer was sampling the inn's culinary delights, spirits high, and stomachs feeling fast. Their daughter, Elise, sat next to them, her spirit a bit lower by comparison as her brows furrowed with concern. I'm sure its luxuries will come with an equally luxurious price tag. And there's 4 of us, so even 2 nights must have cost a small fortune. Upon realizing what she said, she shook her head. I didn't mean to dampen the mood, but I know we have the money. But all my budgeting and student counter puzzles made a terrible habit of missing the numbers and everything. Her older brother, Reen, couldn't help but let out a chuckle. Then the budget buster, and you will like how much we saved, because we're not here as paying customers. We were invited by the owners personally. They wanted to get to know us since we run a similar establishments. So here we are, and we'll be inviting them to Ymir sooner or later. Of course, right, Dad?
Oh, absolutely. Add this to the list of boons coming from other countries and finally coming to terms with one another. The Republic is reveling in unheard levels of prosperity, and the relations between our people are more active and festive than ever. I, for one, welcome any opportunity to further foster friendship. The Baron took another healthy sip of his baijiu before continuing. Friendship over fighting, I say. Such a shame the world tends to overcomplicate that simple concept. Seeing her husband's glass was almost empty, Lucia filled it to the brim while adding her own thoughts.
That's all the more reason we need to make ourselves the most of this invitation and enjoy ourselves to the fullest. Their children nodded in agreement. And even that aside, there's no reason to spoil a family vacation. We so rarely have the time to take them.
Oh, I read
about some unusual dishes worth trying here. Would you like to share some with me, Reen? In a bit. I think I'm going to take another soak in the hot springs. I might be in the mood for something sweet after. The food here is delicious, but as far as I'm concerned, the hot springs are the real star of the show.
That's my boy right there! The ruling lord of the hot springs paradise would never let a good discussion about him pass by. Would never let a good discussion about them pass by. He was as fond of their quality and soothing effects as Reen. Enthusiasm undeniably apparent from the warmth of his tone and the width of his smile. The medicinal springs happen to be a favorite of mine. Can't help but be fascinated by them time and time again.
I can believe it. I've always known about them, but here's the first place I've been able to feel the way they warm you at your core. Think we could make one available at the Phoenix Wings?
Be worth a try, but it comes with its own obstacles. For as many problems as they were expressed in practical terms, Reen held just as many proposed solutions. The conversation grew more and more involved by the minute, leaving the ladies of the house pleasantly basking in their glow and continued enjoying the meal before them. All the 4 felt the same. That it had been too long since they could enjoy each other's company, and the wait had been well worth it. That night, after indulging in his post-dinner soak in the springs and telling his family he was going for a walk, Reen departed the inn. Alright, let's do this. He took a deep breath, and the crisp night air of the Long Lai filled his lungs. The hot springs were an excellent bonus to his trip, to be sure, but it was not the real reason he agreed to visit. He'd come in search of Yun Kafai, the famed sword hermit. Master Kafai was the founder of the 8 Leaves One Blade School, of which Reen was a practitioner, and though now over 70 years old, he was still regarded as one of the strongest combatants on the continent. They had not met since before Reen's enrollment at Thors. Many a letter was exchanged during the 4 years that followed, but even they had stopped after Reen had earned the right to call himself a Divine Blade over a year ago. There was so very much he wished to discuss with his master. What he had learned in his 4 years of training, what had transpired becoming a Divine Blade, the true meaning behind being the final blade to master the 8 Leaves. There's plenty I'd like to ask that have nothing to do with swordship too.
All these questions, all impossible to answer without first knowing the whereabouts of a single individual. Even a senior practitioner like Cassius Bright claimed ignorance, having received not a single update from their old master. But he had always been an elusive but traceable sort. But wherever he was now, he was next to impossible to track. That was until the word of a blade master being sighted in Longlide reached Reen's ears. The man held a fondness for the town's specialties, those being the hot springs and the fragrant tea leaves, making the sighting worthy of particular note. He also knew from the letters that before they stopped that he intended to journey eastward, making Longlide one of the more plausible stopping points. The word came to him just as the Schwartzes were invited to stay at the inn during their New Year vacation. Reen's instincts told him the timing was a little too fortunate, but with how vague the league was, even if it would most likely result in leaving the same as, even it would most likely result in him leaving the same as he had arrived. While he had not discussed the rumor being key to his traveling there, the family seemed to sense it was more than a simple pleasure trip for him. I know Dad would have a great time catching up with him, but I don't want to get his hopes up for nothing. These thoughts of mine, Reen made his way through the night streets. Longlide's architecture was distinctly Eastern, making it a uniquely intriguing sight among most of Calvard's towns and cities. This was not to say it was similar to Crossbell's East Street. With subtle colors paired with dignified beauty, every wall and stone exuded the traditional concept of wabi-sabi. One enough was enough to understand the region was rich with history. The quiet charm would give way to constantly lively evenings. I don't know why I tried to go lively. Anyway, lively evenings, where tourists both westward and farther eastward were greeted to stalls dedicated to the hot springs and more. This, too, held a traditional sort of charm. Reen asked several merchants if they had any information pertaining to the whereabouts of his master, somewhat sheepishly purchasing a number of souvenirs from their stores to keep himself from being a nuisance. They, he justified, would make for excellent gifts for friends, his co-workers, and students. Look at that fucking drip, Reen. I can't believe it's almost time for them to graduate. I might be a bit more emotional about theirs than I was for mine. For the first time, Reen would be able to get to experience what it would like for the young birds he had taken under his wing for 2 years to finally leave the nest. Their first year had been eventful, to say the least. What had started as a problem class full of disagreements and mounting tension had slowly grown into one of compassion and understanding for one another. It was with each new discovery about themselves and every new ordeal the world sought to impose upon them that they grew not only as individuals but as a team. He hoped this period would remain much a meaningful part of their lives as it would always be for him. The months before the Retributive Tower's appearance, or the Reverse Bubble's appearance, held many a trial, making the 10 months that followed in its shadow pass all too quickly. In that time, Reen's students continued to mature, building on everything they accomplished in their first year to prepare for and settle into their desired future. Indeed, whether it was by overcoming their demons or learning to work with them in a healthier fashion, their paths up until now had been well worn, and while they may have had rest from time to time, he was proud to be a part of why their steps continued to face forward. Proud, but also lonely at the thought of saying goodbye. As their second year drew to a close, lacking in grandiose events, but still rewarding in its own right, it was this mixture of emotions that bore conflict within him most. As their second year drew to... can't believe I'm going through it all over again. Next year, and even the year after that. Hell of a career chose to pursue, huh? He didn't know when he stopped walking. Realized this, he resumed his search, paying respect in mind. Hold up, that's my fucking alarm. Oh god. He didn't know when he stopped walking. Realizing this, he resumed his search, paying respect in mind to the many generations of educators who came before him. No matter where he looked, he could not find Master Carfire in Longlide. It was, however, still too early to say whether the trip had been in vain, as he had at least caught an unverified report of the Blade Master being seen in the mountains to the south. Wandering such terrain at night wasn't going to be ideal, but Reen was already firm on spending the next day with his family. Tonight it would have to be. Making a brief stop to the inn to tuck his souvenirs somewhere secure, he then departed for his new destination. The mountain's winding, half-beaten trails would be more treacherous at night, but they were not off-limits as such. The key, Reen knew, would be to not rely on sight alone. His senses of hearing and smell, perhaps even touch, were going to be equally vital in the hours ahead. Calling upon his experience and intellect to heighten the five senses, he took in his surroundings in full. This really takes me back to training in the mountains. To call the experience training would imply his time of being one simple tutelage between student and master, but equated so much more. The danger then was far worse than what it is now, with some days requiring him to set foot in highly dangerous territories just to find the day's food to survive. Sounds like the Kunlun Mountains may have been used for similar exercise long ago. Reen was certain to think on the information gained during his search as he continued along the trail. Searching for the evidence of human activity in environments such as this was not a difficult task. Humans always leave something indicative of their presence behind that no wild creature could, be it a long dead fire, footprints, or traces of going on the hunt. One need only follow the like to lead to their source. Reen did so, advancing with the caution instilled within him by both his old master and the hunting enthusiast of a father. They soon led him precisely to clear evidence that a human had been in an area, though the evidence itself was far from what he expected. Remains of a camp. No, it didn't look like it had been left by martial artists or training roaming hunters, but the most peculiar thing was that there were multiple sites like the first, all evenly spaced from one to the next. It's as though something was being measured. Maybe this is from a group of scholars doing field research, but it seems too large in scale for that. There was nothing more to be found here. Reen advanced. Soon after, he found another unusual mound of evidence. It's like someone forced their way here in a car, or more like hacked open a path wide enough for a car to pass through. All further inspection here suggests that whoever was responsible had given up on this endeavor, leading him to wonder if they had somehow found success elsewhere. And if they did, why had they done this at all? Okay, so my current thought on this is it's probably something related to the antagonist of Kuro, and it's kind of foreshadowing, I'm guessing, at whatever is going on in Kuro here. Or maybe it's Graham Hart's plan, I don't know. That's my thought process at the moment, but I'll find out, maybe. The question pestered him. If there was anywhere to clear wide paths, the remote depths of the mountain certainly were not it. But instinct told him that he was only a step away from discovering the answer. If I keep following this trail a little farther... At this thought, Reen sensed someone approaching. One person, two people. Yes, there were two. It was clear they were aware of his presence as well. Only for a fleeting second did he think they might be the ones responsible for the strange tale. But a deadly tension now thickened the air told him these were no simple scholars. He felt them draw near, the night veiling themselves well, and then he felt them stop. How about you show themselves? He spoke without placing his hand on his touchy, signifying for those watching that he has no desire to fight. Their silhouettes then silently emerged from the darkest shadows in the mountain. They looked very much like the shinobi of the east he had heard about. Their forms clad from top to bottom in black garments, and their faces fully obscured. Interesting.
I see your insight possesses a threat after all, Divine Blade of the Empire. The contract with our client has yet to begin, but we will make an exception for one among their list of dangerous persons.
The silhouettes in charge. They caught him completely off guard, drawing short, straight blades to attack him as they narrowed in. Reed's eyed widened in surprise, but nearly in that same moment, he was in a fighting stance, his hands still over his sheathed tachi. Fifth form, Morning Moon! He perceived the direction of his foe's attacks to evade them and mounted a counterattack of his own. All it took was that instant to repel their assault and leave them vulnerable. Ordinarily, this would be the time to take the offensive, but all Reen could do was stare at the two with disbelief. The thought entered my mind as I saw you move, but now that I've crossed the blade, he paused, disbelief in his eyes giving way to a more intent gaze. Are you practitioners of the Eight Leaves School? Another pause, this time from the silhouettes before answering, as they were well aware the question was coming.
No, though we do possess ties to the school. We are of the Ikaruga.
Practitioners of the Black God One Blade School.
The what? Rin was left stunned. The two Ikaruga held their blades horizontally, ready to thrust them forward at any moment. It was as though they wanted to make clear that while they had been caught off guard once, he would not be so fortunate twice. Rin responded by assuming the middle stance with his tachi. But they were, just as the sight were only a beat away from engaging battle. Hello. What he could only be described as a black cyclone roared from the darkness at such a speed that it seemed certain to slice anything it touched. Its appearance caught Rin by surprise more than the initial attacks by the silhouettes. Had he not expected an attack from that angle, that distance... He had not expected an attack from that angle, that distance, or even that moment. His enemies, on the other hand, did not so much as flinch at the sight. The approaching blade over an arch and a half was in length was heading directly to Rin's back. You can possibly dodge it now. Perhaps he should have noticed. Perhaps it was impossible to know. Whatever the answer, the divine blade of Eampai would soon fall. The silhouettes waited for his final moments to be convinced of no other fate in his future. When Rin spun his body in a full circle, applying the intensity built into his Itachi into motion to swing. The blow was weighted with yet precise shifting the incoming blade to a new direction without mitigating its near overpowering force. Damn, Rin isn't dying today, damn it. This technique was an application of the first form, Helix. There was no greater course in the moment than to use it to redirect the attack without it ever making direct contact. The spinning blade was now significantly off its intended course, but Rin slashed at it again, birthing a shockwave that further shifted its path. The blade went flying hairs to the right of the direction it had come. A hand there was definitely to catch it in midair. Hello. You may have only recently taken the title, but you're worthy of being called a divine blade. All the same, you use the uncluttered I wear. From this emerged the new figure from the darkness. He was clad in a similar garment to Silhouette, but something about his presence was much more inspired by comparison. His musculature was thoroughly discernible beneath his body, a body covering fortified suit. His every movement, however slight, reflected a complete lack of hesitation, and the faint light of his eyes visible through the mask projected no emotion whatsoever. The man possessed the aura of a true warrior, one projected only by those who have fought more battles than was possible to count. Fall back, you're too formidable for you to handle. What kind of OC technique? The silhouette slid into the darkness in an instant. Only the new arrival was left to face Rin. I need to know, who are you and why did you attack me? Our contract forbids the disclosure of such information. We will leave this place now, fledgling divine blade. The tone was not of advice or an order. It is as if the man was stating a fact, his calmness veiling an undertone of malice that told Rin what would happen if he did not do as he saw. I'm afraid I can't do that without an explanation, not when I haven't found what I'm looking for yet. I understand, then. There's no longer anything to discuss. All they could do was battle. I, Kurogane of the Rogetsu School, shall be your opponent. Kurogane stood at attention. The large blade he had thrown before he now pointed. I'd rather settle this with words, but I can see that's not an option. Rin sighed, taking his own stance this time. Then, Rin Schwarzer, master of the 8 Leaves 1 Blade School, 7th form, shall all be yours. Shall be yours. The divine blade moved instantly. Give me a moment. The bizarre weapon Kurogane wielded was less akin to a sword and more 4 equally sized blades arranged in the shape of a cross, their bases connecting to a single point. That he could direct this large weighted shuriken as though it was a simple child's toy spoke volumes about how strong he was. Still, even it was not infallible, for it was not one to be ideally used in close range combat. Kurogane appeared to have no other key weapons on hand either, meaning that if Rin could force him to fight where he would be at his most disadvantageous, he would most likely come out of this as the victor. That was what he had in his mind when choosing to act first. Second form, gay! Oh. He closed the gap between them and drew his blade, and made a swing towards his opponent in the blink of an eye. Kurogane blocked the blow with ease. That, however, meant nothing to the larger scheme of things. Rin knew well this man's capability. So long as the gap between them was close, and it was, he considered the attack a success.
But just as he thought he would be able to push onward and overpower his foe by mounting a newly fierce skull, Kurogane had split his cross-shaped shuriken in half. The ease at which he did made it clear this was intended by design. Very fascinating. He can dual-wield double sabers? There was no hiding his shock. In the West, double sabers were seen as relic from the Dark Ages that were difficult to utilize. Crow was the only person Rin knew who was competent with one, and only one. The skill it would take to use two was almost difficult to fathom. The surprise created an opening that Kurogane was not going to let pass unexploited. Possessing two twin-ended blades allowed the shinobi to perform considerably more strikes than Rin, giving him no chance to push back. Steel sparked as their weapons clashed. Kurogane was dominant for some time, but he could do nothing to bolster his advantage. With strike and spark and strike after strike, strike and spark after strike and spark, the advantage was moving back toward Rin. This was in part due to him being used to fighting this weapon that defied rationale, but it was also because he had been given the time to find what he was looking for, the perfect range in which to attack. Double sabers were forged with shorter reach than they appeared to have, something inevitable due to their handle being in the middle. It could have been because he also used them as a shuriken, but the length of Kurogane's sabers were even shorter than Crow's, meaning that Rin would have to adjust with the longer length of his blade. He measured patiently, staying only just out of Kurogane's reach, and evading the onslaught by a hair's breadth each time prior to countering. It was calculated quickly thanks to Kurogane's frequent, rapid attacks, meaning all Rin had to do now was wait for the right moment. This moment would come in the form of his opponent showing impatience for the stalled battle, driving him to take an unneeded step forward. Rin evaded the strike expertly, instantly returning it with an upward diagonal slash. The forceful swing of the touching made contact with the handle of Kurogane's own swung weapon, knocking it clean out of his hand. Rin dashed forward to make use of this availed opportunity, but only after a flick of bewilderment, Kurogane moved to deny him. He blocked Rin's attack with the double saber still in his possession, and then hurled a hidden kunai with his free hand, jumping backward a significant distance while doing so. Very good, divine blade of the Eclipse. You may pale to the skills of our princess, but you without doubt deserve your reputation. Princess, Rin's intonation when unanswered as Kurogane took a notably different stance than before. I shall demonstrate my respect for your school with my finest technique. This is my S-craft. This put Rin staunchly on guard, senses heightened. He focused every nerve in his body, fixing his eyes on whatever was to come of Kurogane, who was now gone. Nothing remained of where Rin's opponent had just stood. He had taken his eyes off him, never eased himself a moment. Yet, Kurogane was nowhere to be seen. How? Had he moved that quickly? Was it some kind of special translocation? But there were no signs to indicate either one. Was it that he never moved at all and was still there, sight unseen? No, that wasn't it either. The double saber Rin had repelled to the ground was also gone. I can still sense him, so he hasn't gone far. Rin suppressed the panic welling up within, hoping his senses a second time. That was when another black cyclone swirled from the shadow. He half expected something of this nature, so with a little deviation, he was able to deflect it for the first time. The attack indicated that Kurogane had reassembled his shuriken after recovering its lost half, so he could throw it again. It also indicated that with the slight change in surrounding, where he was now positioned, he needed a little more time to know where he was for certain, but ahead of making solid conclusions, the cyclone claimed him yet again from a new angle. That was fast, though he blocked his attack, as well as the last before he could fully correct his posture. The next cyclone approached. The gap between was getting shorter and shorter. There was another. The time was shorter, and another shorter. Soon these assorted smaller cyclones were secretly growing into a rapid grand storm of death, with Rin trapped at its center. This doesn't feel like I'm being attacked by a single person. Did he make phantom copies of himself? He had no idea where the next cyclone would form, and by the time he located it, the next one was ready. Even the unclouded eye wasn't going to be enough for him to deduce Kurogane's location. He'd been able to repel every blade that met with him so far, but that was growing increasingly difficult. I don't want to use it, but I'm not sure if I have a choice. Well aware that Dawn places himself in danger, Rin took his mind off the battle. He gave up blocking and evading attacks, dedicating the bare minimum of focus not to sustaining lethal blows and focusing his mind inward. Focus the power he had long cultivated inside him. The power he had feared, loathed and rejected. The power he now relied on, desired, and nearly surrendered himself to. The power he faced with his loved ones at his side, making a true part of himself. With his mind clear as day, he unleashed his full strength. Enlightened spirit unification! He imbued his Tachi with great power surging out of him, crying out as he did so, and spinning his body forcibly around to create a bladed circle around him. The energy released by his Tachi repelled all forthcoming shuriken with ease, and with them, Kurogane's phantom copies lurking in the darkness faded to nothing. With that, there you are! He charged towards Kurogane. The man, thoroughly overwhelmed by Rin's sudden counterattack, throwing him completely off balance. There was nothing he could do to repel what would come next. It's time to settle this. Rin swung his Tachi downward by pouring all his might into a final single strike, but just as the two felt the battle was coming to an end, Zeroth form duality, accompanied by a voice as beautiful as a bell tearing through the sky. Its color, so black, it threatened to eclipse the moon. It effortlessly stopped Rin's weapon from reaching its target, but that wasn't all. What? With a high-pitched metallic sound, Rin's beloved Tachi was sundered cleanly in two. Princess! Kurogane was also taken back by this new arrival.
I heard what was happening from both our scouts. You could have invited me to join the fun instead of keeping it to all yourself.
Is this fucking Shizuna? Probably not. The words as she chided Kurogane indicated dissatisfaction, but the music of her tone betrayed her excitement. Rin made it to see who this mysterious figure was. It is just Shizuna, okay. And the sight of her alone took his breath away. She was young, wearing a fortified suit that looked to be a mirage of classical and modern Eastern styles, with long silver hair that appeared to glow in the pale moonlight. Her age was likely close to Rin's, perhaps a little younger, with well-defined features that still held traces of adolescence, pairing strikingly in contrast to the empty void behind her eyes. There was the air of a young noblewoman who had been sheltered from impurities all her life, and the stench of a baleful warrior who had bathed in the blood of countless lives. How she was both and neither at once, Rin could not understand, but it was this very quality that made her all the more captivating and dangerous. The woman's left hand was a large black engraved blade that threatened it to freeze him for a daring glance at it. No doubt it was what halved Rin's Tachi moments ago. Quick question. I'm still not checking chat at the moment, but did MD stream this? What did... Rin fumbled for the words as he clutched the useless handle tightly in his hand. The fair-haired woman only smiled as she looked down upon it.
Your weapon was very fun, but it was never very much my friend, I'm afraid.
She spun the black blade in her hands around gently before holding it up toward the night sky, to seemingly display it with pride. It wasn't hard to see why she would boast about possessing such a weapon. He had seen many a blade of historical significance, but his instinct told him that hers was better than any of those. The blunt side featured an intricate design of deep grey that, while he could not discern its meaning there and then, he knew nothing less of a work of art than a work of art. He knew it was nothing less than a work of art. There was an aura about it, one as cold as ice, that seemed to reject its worldly surroundings, making it capable of cutting through anything it so desired. It came in company with the beautiful hilt of deep red that contrasted its body without feeling out of place. This juxtaposition was, in a sense, much of a reflection of its wielder, with their two opposing natures being distinctive yet also as one. See, this is why I didn't want to know anything about Kuro, by the way, because if I didn't know much about Kuro, like, I would go like, oh cool, there's a new character I don't know. Like you know what I mean? It's like, anyway. Rin thought, as he observed, her blade was clearly something special, but that alone did not explain the strength behind her attack. He had never heard of the techniques she used, but it was certainly connected to the 8 Leaves in some way, and the skill she showed in executing it made her equal to a divine blade. He was so fixated on these thoughts rushed throughout his mind that it was only brought out by her sudden laughter. I didn't think I'd ever meet you here. I wonder if our old master's behind guiding us to the same place. Or if it's just a happy coincidence. Wait. The manner in which she spoke and her familiarity with Rin gave him a theory. That technique you used was just a something. Consider me intrigued. Sorry. It put you a league above more interesting than our senior practitioners. So he was right. Are you? Before he could hear what he already knew, she turned away, refusing him to let them finish the question. He isn't here, so why don't you go back on your family? Go and make the most of your vacation. Just don't let your skill with the blade slip. The world will need it again one day. She spoke with satisfaction as she pointed down the other half of his broken blade. And then she leaped high, seemingly disappearing on the other side of the moon. Rin could only stare, dumbfounded, as she vanished. He couldn't even speak. Kurogane left with her. The Ikaruga, the Black God One Blade School, and our senior practitioners. Rin had been unable to fulfill his objective, and not just that, he was left with countless new questions about the people encountered and the mountain itself. He felt there was meaning behind being guided to the specific place, but how important it was or what it entailed he did not know. And yet, the person responsible for discerning that won't be me. Looking down his broken Tachi, he was struck with anew with how truly massive the world was. And he realized that, now that his master was confirmed to be elsewhere, the purpose of his visit to Longlai was nothing more than to enjoy a wonderful ordinary vacation with his family. This meeting here was a peculiar coincidence, for now at least. When I get back, I'll need to reforge my Tachi, and myself. Something stirred in this region. All across Calvi, but there's nothing he could do about that as he was. All he could focus on was training and bettering himself, so that he could one day play a part against the next threat that loomed over the distant horizon. New resolve welling in his soul, he made his way through the now still mountain trail, back to where his loving family awaited. Another hot springs paradise, the end. Unconventional student, I am suspecting this is going to be about Ren, because I know about, and this is where we see Beauty's Blade as well. I also really think I know, too much about Kuro at this point, unfortunately. But let me read chat now. Ren is definitely not returning. Cool. Ren fans fucking hate this character for doing this. Really? I actually think it's kind of cool. Rinley's Erebony once immediately gets proven for it. How does he do it? MD did not stream any part of Hachimari. Then I'll just have to scroll up to see what he said when he got to this. Unconventional student. Alright, that was good. That was fucking good. I don't get why... Okay, I actually don't want to address that comment where it says Rin fans fucking hate this character for doing this. Like... Why? This is why I get so frustrated when JRPG like conversations get so focused on the characters, because what does hating the character that just did something to your favorite character, like what does that accomplish? You know, like this happened for a reason. They want to build something up. They want to tell a story. And if you're not okay with what happens in the story, then what were you doing? You know, I don't know. It just frustrates me. Like, we don't need to be this obsessed with individual characters. The characters are there to tell the story, you know? If something bad happens to them, it's like, I'm watching an anime at the moment, and, like, I'm not going to say which anime it is, but the main character's arm just got cut off. And, like... I feel a little uncomfortable about that because I really like the character, but the symbolism behind that and the message that the reason that happened is really fucking strong. And like, do I hate the other character because of that? No, it just happened. You know, it happened. They had a message behind it. You know, I don't see why we have to hate characters because we like other characters so much. And this is why I think it's sorry. I don't get it. Why do... This is called Steel's fault. Anyway. Moving on. April. Year 1208 of the Septian calendar. This is the start of the school year in Japan. Aramis Academy is a famous educational institution of the Calvardian capital of Edith. Aramis Academy. Okay, so I know where that green uniform is from now. The name derives from an artist central to Calvar's democratic revolution 100 years ago. This was also reflected in its goal of nurturing new talent and helping to forge a brighter future for a new republic. The Academy placed great value on traditional education, of course, but it also encouraged the perspectives of new cultures and values, attracting many an independent mind from across Samuria. It was a storied place of learning that reflected the Republic's views as a whole. For this story, for its part, begins not long after the Springtime Festival held yearly welcome to the new student body. It was just another morning at the Academy, countless students shuffling through its grounds, when one of them in particular happened to draw an unusual amount of attention. The young lady had a long, soft violet hair, crowned with a black ribbon. Her figure had been cut very respectively as she matured into a young woman of 17 years, and yet her face still held traces of girlhood days bygone. The beauty she was, she never failed to turn inquisitive heads as she strolled along. Hi, Ren. They actually had her Kuro design finalized at this point. That's fucking cool. Her name was Ren Bright. She was a second-year student from Genis Royal Academy in Lebel, now studying at Aramis as part of an exchange program. She had only just arrived in the spring. Ren's goal in attending was not to further her education. She had been considered highly gifted since she was a child, having already earned several doctorates in years past. And there was a little more a new academy could reasonably teach her. Her goal in reality was to use it as a front to operate freely in Calvard. It was hard to find one better than being a student. She already found the role relatively foolproof during her time at Genis. Even if there were limits to how much a student could get away with, society as a whole was soft on schoolchildren. To move freely would also require drawing as little attention as possible. She aimed to conduct herself modestly, as any elegant young lady who wished to remain unseen should, during her time at Aramis. There was just one very big problem with this plan. Good morning, Miss Bright! Isn't she just gorgeous? Look, I see her! She's so beautiful, and she says everyone's just smart, too! All she had to do was walk down the hall to be showered with greetings and whispers of Indian admiration. The looks alone were already enough to make her the talk of the school, but after one of the teachers let slip that she received a perfect score on her entrance exam, there was suddenly not a single person who didn't know her name. The other student cared not how much she wanted to avoid drawing attention. She was getting it whether she liked it or not. Naturally, not everyone was pleased with the booming popularity this new transfer student had attained in less than a month. While most were busy fawning over Ren's arrival that morning, another group watched the charade unfold from the shadows, echoing audible tuts of displeasure. Ren had yet to be enrolled in any clubs, so as soon as the day's lesson had come to an end, she packed her belongings and stood to leave. A word, if I may, Miss Bright. It was a fellow classmate surrounded by a small faction of students, clearly loyal to their King Bee. Certainly. Though instinct taught her this was not going to be a conversation she wanted to have, she made an effort to pretend otherwise. She would not be provoked as behaving as anything but a mature, modest young lady. I've been wanting to get to know you better for some time now, you see, so I was wondering if you might join me for dinner this evening. The boy Ronald Griffith presented a gentlemanly smile. Ren was very much used to being asked out like this, and never once did she accept. She always made up some excuse to turn them down. Today would be no different. I'm ever so sorry, but I'm afraid I have something urgent to take care of after school today. Some other time, perhaps. This was usually enough to get them to give up, but Ronald was a persistent one. Well, that won't do. I have something very important to discuss with you, and I've already booked us a table at a fine restaurant, so we could discuss it in detail. Is there really no way your business can wait? There's something ominous about his smile. Ren couldn't help but be curious what he was thinking. I'm afraid it can't. I'm so sorry I've just gotten out of your way to prepare ahead of time. Still, I could spare a little time now, so be happy to talk here if that's alright. So not tonight then, a pity. Ronald's tone reads one less of genuine sadness and more of irritation that things were not going according to plan. Well aware that he let slip his true feelings on the matter, he quickly composed himself and smiled. Now's better than ever, I suppose. This does concern everyone in the room, so perhaps it's all for the better here, said here. To this, Ren glanced around the room, noticed that only she, Ronald, and his lackeys were all that remained, most likely on their way home or in their respective clubs. While some would ordinarily have been in the classroom at this hour, she was certain that none wanted anything to do with Ronald and his group. He took a step forward toward her and began to speak.
I'm well aware, Miss Bright, that you've come from a distant way from LaBelle to be here. It's not unusual for students to transfer far for family reasons, but in your case, you came to Calvert just to learn in these hallowed halls. I cannot help but be deeply admired by your spirit and thirst for knowledge. Pure theatrics, this one. At the same time, I worry about you, brilliant as you may be, but living off in a far land, you must be terribly lonely and challenging affair. We all need someone to depend on in our lives, and that will be especially so in your situation. So if you don't mind me saying so, Miss Bright, I believe you need someone to look after you, to protect you. At last he shut up, giving Ren a chance to respond. She scrutinized him closely.
In short, you'd like me to join your circle of friends, is that correct?
Ronald's smarmy smile broadened. His father was a senator in the Republic's parliament, meaning he held a significant amount of political power. His son used this to his full advantage. Ever since joining the academy, Ren has used his father's name to form a faction of sorts among the students, forcibly building his reputation until he was the leading candidate for student council president in the election stage in half a month's time. His goal, Ren assumed, was to bring the hottest talk of the academy into his faction to further secure his chances of victory.
I think you'll find that joining us
would help you feel more secure and at home here. Or perhaps you don't appreciate just how much difference having someone like me backing you would make on the life of an exchange student.
True, she mused inwardly. Being in a group of high social standing would make it easier for her to gather information. If she could leverage his own father's connections to build more of her own, that would pay itself in dividends in the days to come. The pompous boy had no way of knowing the actual circumstances that brought her to Aramis, but his proposal, was in fact very beneficial to her. She returned his smile with a modest one of her own as she answered.
You're kind to think so much of me, but I'm afraid I'll have to decline.
Clear, unambiguous rejection. Ronald's lips were curled into a smile, but he could not hide the twitch in his brow, nor could his lackeys hide their shock. They had by all accounts expected her to answer the opposite. I sure you won't reconsider, Miss Bright. Surely someone as brilliant as yourself can see why accepting my offer would be in your best interests. I fear if you don't now, you may well come to regret it. The last words were a hair slower and deliberate to intimidate her. Ren, of course, was never going to fall for it.
I'll admit, is it a tempting proposal? Tempting enough to inspire one to consider helping a certain someone win the student council election. If only that someone weren't you.
What did you say? The sudden taunt caught him completely off guard, resulting in a flare of irritation escaping him. Ren, for her part, was unruffled by the change.
I imagine you don't need me to explain why, but I will to be sure. I've been very aware that the threatening glares I always attract on the way to school every morning have been coming from all of you. They've been a constant in my life ever since just before the festival.
All were flabbergasted by the statement. This silence was confirming what she said to be true. She continued.
Now you have every right to regard me with caution, and we're well aware of how much I stand out despite my best efforts. Taking potential threats under your own wing is a strategically sound move too. However, your target was so easily able to see through your scheme. Shows everyone here just how inept you really are. I have better things to do than this is someone so incompetent and small-minded.
With a shrug and sigh in a somewhat dramatic fashion, Ren stood before Ronald, his shoulders trembling from rage.
Good day to you all.
Ren gave a courteous nod of acknowledgement before leaving the room, paying no mind to the wide eyes and open slack jaws she left behind. Hi, May. So Agate ended up getting a pretty beat up from another one of his mum's crazy jobs she threw at him.
We did get some good data out of it, but ouch. Your mum's always so funny. Your mum's always so funny.
That night in the dormitory, Ren and Tita were engrossed deep in conversation through their laptops. Oh my god! I haven't actually seen... I didn't realize Tita would get a new design.
But it's always the same old with you. I'm surprised there's anything of Agate left with how you often tell he's suddenly nearly facing death. You two in a rut. I know something that could spice things up. Maybe try a little romance despite...
Okay. But we have agreed to go somewhere next week, so we're not in a complete rut.
Well, isn't that something? The stress adulthood away you, my dear friend.
Ren! Tita graduated from the branch campus in Erebonia just as Ren left for Calvard, leaving them with no time to spend with one another in person. That wasn't ideal, of course, but from a hint of sadness came the habit of talking like this once a week so they could stay in each other's lives. They discussed anything
from their new lives and environments to the fruits of their research, occasionally stumbling into a serious topical matter or two along the way.
It sounds like a legal confrontation between the Verne Company and the S-Sign Foundation is inevitable at this point. I know. Can't believe this is really happening.
Both frowned at their screens. Recent development concerning Calvardian industrial giant Verne Company had become a key source of concern as of late. Hello, Tio. Verne Company. Hello, that's a character I haven't seen. It began after Crossbow returned to normalcy after the Supreme Leader's takeover the previous year. Professor Erica Russell approached the Verne Company to propose that they join the West Zamurian Tech Union that they had been hard work forming, and to no one's surprise, they refused. But before Erica and the rest of the engineers involved could even finish getting ready to go and change Verne's mind, something happened to make the unions the least of anyone's priorities. Also, hi, Russell, Albert Russell. The independent development of a new generation of augments and their generation's long partner in this subset of technology, of a new generation of augments and their generation's long partner in this, the independent development of new generations of augments and their generation's long partner in this subset of technology, the Epstein Foundation, would not be a collaborator. That had been a key supporters of Zamuria's augment development, Orbal technology, since their very inception. Battle augments were no exception to this. The Foundation had known their way around them since their very first model, drafting the incredible concept that had been used as a base ever since. Even the Rheinfeld Company before the Battle of Jormungandr had not thought to develop their Arcus models on their own, instead favoring to develop them in partnership with the storied Institute. The announcement was quite simply unprecedented, and sent shockwaves throughout the industry. The Epstein Foundation was also less than pleased about being cast aside in this manner. While there were certainly legal concerns regarding who owned the patent to this technology, the greater concern was that their stable position in the industry as a whole was now becoming unstable. They initially responded by attempting to resolve this through peaceful means, but when those attempts proved fruitless, it was reported that they were preparing for what could only be an ugly international legal dispute. I'd say Verne has the upper hand if this ever makes it to court. Unlike their previous Ramda augments, the 6th generation was designed to set a whole new standard. All of its main features are packed with new tech, with new features being kept on the wraps.
I wonder what those are. Could they be trying to develop what's important enough to ruin the relationship with the Foundation? Though I have heard about the government telling the Verne Company to focus more on weapons development. I have too! It sounds like they're planning on significantly revamp the military's weaponry.
The official story is that they're planning on slimming the military down, but
the official story is that they're planning to slimming the military down, but if they're pairing that with the latest weapons development, then they're still just as powerful, maybe more so.
As part of the war's ceasefire agreement, Erebonia was required to downsize their military, bring it more in line with that of Calvar's. Yet if the public were to expand the capabilities of its military, this recently forced equilibrium in superpowers would quickly be broken.
Whatever may be true, I've got a lot of questions I need answers to. It'd be worth visiting the Verne Company's headquarters in Basel at some point. You haven't learned anything more about where Professor Hamilton is at the moment?
Oh, is that Hamilton on the right?
Nothing new or concrete, at least. It sounds like she's continuing her research eastward, but I haven't heard anything more specific than that. Mom and Grandpa haven't had any luck in contacting her either.
Excuse me.
I'm not surprised, since that area isn't very well connected, but it's so unfortunate. She's still a lot more personable than Professor Schmidt, so having her on her side would help a lot.
Tita could only laugh. Yeah, there's a lot of worrying stories going around about how the PMCs and stuff about PMCs.
Makes me wonder if none of this would be happening if she was still acting as an advisor for the Verne Company.
The deeper the conversation they went, the more Tita could feel her spirits sinking. The political demise the political climate in Western Zamuria was unusually stable at the moment, with its nation basking in prosperity, but she could not shake off the feeling that this peace was built over rotting wood, and that it could all come crashing down with but the slightest provocation. This was becoming especially true in the tech world, as it had undergone rapid growth in recent years compared to other fields. So rapid, in fact, that no base could possibly sustain its sudden weight without cracks beginning to form.
Try not to dwell too much on the worst case scenario, Tita. This piece might rest on a knife's edge, but there's still plenty we can do to preserve it. That's why I'm right here right now, and that's also why you're working so hard too. We could find a million problems in the world if we wanted, but pessimism isn't going to make them go away, right?
The words filled Tita with the right amount of comfort she needed in that precise moment.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Thanks, Ren.
They continued on, losing track of time as they talked well into the night. Before they knew it, the clock had struck 12.
Well, it's getting really late, so I should probably be going. I'll talk to you soon, okay? Alright, good night, Tita. Oh, night, oh!
Tita suddenly remembered something, The exclamation stopped Ren just as she was about to end the call.
Estelle and Joshua told me to ask if you're doing okay in school. Those always worry too much. You think I wasn't talking to them too?
She couldn't help but remember her interaction with Ronald after class, but Ren quickly drove the thought from her mind. It wasn't worth dredging up.
Tell them you can rest easy. Everything is fine. Good! They wanted to let me know if you were being bullied so they could fly over and help.
Ren could only sigh.
Honestly, do they think I can't keep myself safe from a few schoolyard bullies? Actually, they're more worried about what you do to them than they do to you.
At her friend's silence, Tita couldn't help but burst out laughing.
Or about you too, obviously, but they're probably right. How awful of you. Even if that were to happen to me, I wouldn't do half of what you're imagining. Not anymore, anyway.
See, it's that kind of thing that makes people worry.
I'm a lady now. I need the magnanimity to forgive the transgressions of others. I'm also trying to do what I can avoid to avoid standing out too much at school.
You can try, but that's always been a lost cause. Anyway, now I'm really going to go before I remember anything else. Say hi to Zin for me if you run into him.
I'm planning to go and see him when everything calms down here, so will do. I've been planning to go and see someone else I've been indebted to in the past too.
By the time the two of them had finished talking and ended the call, one day had given to the next. The morning dawned, yet another day of school. However, just as she left her classroom in the main building at the start of lunch, and went to descend the staircase, she felt someone suddenly draw near behind her. Reflexively, she dodged out of the way. A female student then entered her field of vision. She had lost her balance, and her expression a mix of fear and surprise. This is Agnes, isn't it? She passed through the spot Ren had been moments before, but her momentum showed no sign of fading. If someone didn't stop her, she was going to start tumbling down the stairs. Ren was quick to grab her and pull her close. She supported the girl's weight with one arm, all the grace of someone taking part of a ballroom dance, saving her from falling. Several students happened to eyewitness the event unfold and could not help elicit gasps of admiration. Noticing the girl's eyes were still unfocused, Ren gently addressed her.
Are you alright? You aren't hurt, are you?
Finally realizing the situation she was in, the girl whose face had become quite red quickly straightened her posture and flushed her. Yes, I'm okay.
You're Ren Bright from the class over, aren't you? Thank you so much for helping me. You're very welcome. But I would have to caution you from losing your composure like that rest next to the staircase. We have some really urgent business to take care of.
The girl first frowned in response and paused to think and answered, Nothing I can think of. It's weird, but even though I was probably imagining, I felt like something had someone pushed me from behind. Obviously no one here would do that, so it must have just bumped into someone by accident. She thanked her rescuer before disappearing in the distance. The situation she had deemed her imagination, however, lingered in Ren's mind. Maybe it wasn't Agnes, maybe it was just someone random.
If I hadn't sensed something amiss, both of us would have fallen down the stairs. We could have both been badly hurt. Was it really just a coincidence, or was it a deliberate action by someone who wants to hurt me? If it was the latter.
She didn't have anything to support this theory, but it came with a familiar sensation. The feeling of malicious stares focusing on her from the shadows. It took surprisingly little time for suspicions to gain evidence. After finishing gym class the next day, Ren made for the classroom and began preparing for the next lesson. As she did, she immediately noticed something was amiss. Although textbooks had been glued shut with an excessive amount of adhesive, try as she did to open them, it was a lost cause to get even a single page. It was an obvious attempt to harass her. The culprits behind the act were equally obvious. Not far from Ren was where Ren was sitting, Ronald Griffith and his lackeys, whom she so memorably turned away 2 days prior, were snickering to themselves. The culprits behind the act were equally obvious. Not far from where Ren was sitting, Ronald Griffith and his lackeys, whom she so memorably turned away 2 days prior, were snickering to themselves, their eyes mockingly focused on Ren all the while.
Not even introducing what they'd like anymore. I'm sure at this point they want me to know he did it to intimidate me.
This latest development also confirmed in her mind that they were responsible for trying to push her down the stairs the day before. What a pitiful sight they were. Because she refused to join their group, her existence was in their own nothing more than a hindrance to Ronald's campaign for student council presidents. They would stop at nothing to either break her spirit and force her to join or shame her into lowering her popularity among the student body. It didn't matter that Ren had no interest in taking part in the election. After further inspecting the state of her textbooks, Ren's expressions grew difficult to read.
I think I can make them usable again, but not in what little time I've left before class.
The bell soon chimed to the signal of the start of her lesson. Ren left her textbook out on top of the desk, making no effort to open them throughout. Her instructor, of course, was less than pleased about this perceived slight against them, picking her to answer a question in an attempt to chide up her behavior.
Miss Bright, please read the next paragraph aloud for us.
Ronald and his friends let out a series of pleased giggles at this, their minds delighting at the thought of a flustered Ren being told off and humiliated in front of the entire class. But what transpired in reality played out very differently from their fantasies. Without missing a beat, Ren did exactly as she was told, reciting the selected paragraph she had been asked to read with her for word, all the while her textbook remained closed.
Did you memorize the entire book?
Even the instructor could not hide the surprise.
But of course, as a student of Aramis Academy, I would never dare to compromise in preparing for my lessons.
Ren responded with such grace that she, of course, drew more sighs and coos of admiration from both her instructor and peers alike. It was only Rattles and his posse who had grown with silent expressions. The next incident came on Ren's way to school the next morning. She entered the school gates with a horde of other students and was just about to step into the building from when she noticed a foul smell come from above her. She looked upward, noticing a portion of the fencing surrounding the building's rooftop was falling directly above her. Other students noticed this at the same time, letting out screams of horror and words that they could do nothing about it.
I could get out of the way easily, but if I wanted, but
the fencing was over 2 arches in length. She could escape on her, but other students around her were likely not. That was a risk she was unwilling to take. Grasping the battle ornament she had in her bag, she cried out, "Airstrike!" A sphere of wind formed in response to her incantation, flying upward at high speeds. She carefully controlled its power, so instead of setting the fence flying, simply cancelled out to momentum step, allowing her to hop and catch it with ease.
This was no accident. The smell makes it obvious.
It was the distinct scent of a liquid extracted from a certain plant monster. One of the properties was to imitate the natural corrosion of metal, resulting in its application in certain solvents. This made the fence falling a deliberate action the perpetrator had been trying to disguise as an accident, with Ren being the target. Of several malicious acts already, the culprit was clear. Again, she could feel the presence of those familiar hateful stares pouring into her from the shadows. But again as well, they were not the only ones with eyes on her.
Wow, that was awesome! Did you see that? Is there anything she can't do?
Ren's quiet meditation was interrupted by a multitude of cheers and applause from around her. As if she was just about to leave the stage, she gave an elegant bow in response. This would not have been the last time she endured harassment from Ronald's group, but each and every time they thought they bested her, she would handle everything herself with exemplary skill, their efforts only serving to make her more popular. The state of affairs continued for several more days, before seemingly out of place, Ronald summoned Ren behind the school building after lessons were over for the day. He stood oppressively before her, his lackeys behind him, with the composure he attempted to feign before, now replaced with plain vile anger.
Let me give it to you straight, Rembrandt. You are an eyesore.
Even that gentlemanly air he impersonated before was gone. Really? Well, that's not a very polite thing to say to a classmate.
Don't try and act cute, innocent. I put my time and mirrors and build my position up at this academy, but it was always the center. It's you. It's always you. Always deluded songs to sabotage my son to the success. That's the last thing I can afford right now.
The more livid Ronald became, the more unruffled Ren was in turn.
You're only sabotaging
You're only sabotaging yourself by setting me up to succeed over and over again. You are aware of that, aren't you? Had she not been forced to defend herself against him over and over again, she would not have received nearly as much attention. That being pointed out caused Ronald to return an audible tut of frustration.
Who cares about how whatever the point is? This has gone long enough, so I'm going to have to ask you to step off the stage for a while.
What do you mean? Ronald seemed persistent, seemed present to some of his initial call. Ronald seemed to present some of his initial call from when they first talked as he answered.
I mean something very simple. You just won't come to school until the election's over.
And if I refuse? To this, he raised his hand, and in response, it was like he stepped forward to surround her. The boys were unusually well built for their age, showing off their hulking forms in hopes of intimidating her.
Refusing is not an option, Nate. I'm afraid if you're not willing to oblige willingly, you'll just have to make sure you can't come to school for a while.
His lackeys cracked their knuckles dramatically to clarify their leader's intent. Well, that's no good. I think we both know that would constitute a grave violation of school rules. Something out of her inflection caused him to mistake her commentary as showing a hint of fear, further fueling their desire to dominate the situation.
No one's watching a place like this, and even if someone did happen to see, my follow-up is supposed to can make it go away. If they don't willingly choose to ignore what they saw in deference to my position, everyone at this academy seems to already know their place, you see. Everyone except you.
His smile was so unpleasant that a sigh escaped Ren.
Oh, I think you're the one who doesn't know your place. I don't want to be rough with him after what Tita said, but he needs to be taught a good hard lesson.
Go. Ronald continued on, oblivious to what was running through his apparent victim's mind.
Now do as I say!
His lackeys drew closer, ready to seize her.
I'll keep it mild, but I still want to hurt for them. Just enough to set them on the right track. I don't think Estella Joshua would object to that.
But just as she was about to act, stop this at once! A girl's shout could be heard from the direction of the school building, and she was of course not shouting at Ren. This is Elaine, I'm going to guess.
And who are you?
And who are you?
Ronald was visibly irritated, though the girl appeared to be visibly nervous. She continued to stand her ground. Oh no, it's Anya's. Okay. Hello.
I didn't mean to listen, but I couldn't help but overhear what's happening here. You can't go through with this. What you're doing is wrong.
The girl stepped forward till she was directly in front of Ren to protect her from a schoolyard bullies. As she did so, she revealed a sleek, dazzling blonde hair that shimmered much like the sunshine above. Ren recognized her to be a first-year student who lived in the dormitory next to her own. They weren't close to one another, at most they only exchanged polite greetings with one another as they passed each other in the hall. She always seemed like a quite polite young woman with a good upbringing. However, she's not the type whose eyes would glow with resolve as she put her well-being on the line for someone else's. Ren was surprised by this, as was Ronald, though he was less than impressed. He would never fathom that another student would dare to resist him. One thing he did sense that her resistance was little more than a brave front. With excitement at the thought of stripping that front bare, he grew a sadistic smile and addressed her.
Is it now? Well, fortunate for me that I have you to show me the error of my ways.
Ren can wait.
Ren can wait. You're a first year, I presume. I'm going to give you a lesson in just how right and wrong works in our society.
Upon his signal, his lackeys shifted to surround their new target over Ren. She began to tremble as danger closed in on her, but she still did not move.
Don't you dare!
This time it was Ren who spoke up.
I'll give you what you want, so don't
you dare touch her. But...
Are you sure about that?
She wasn't planning on that response, but Ronald was more happy to have his way win in any form.
So away from school for a while, is that what you want, right? But then you... The experience of studying abroad has been rather tiring for me, so maybe I do need some rest.
Ren's voice was gentle in an attempt to assuage the kind girl's concern. Ronald, meanwhile, made no attempt to hide the joy he felt at victory, laughing heartily with all the glee of a spoiled child.
Good! Now everyone knows this place there! I see no reason to harm either of you now that I've got what I want. Consider yourselves lucky that I've decided to let you go.
Ronald turned away to make his leave, his lackeys following suit.
Good day to you, then. Next we meet, school will be all mine.
And then he was gone. With only the girls left behind the school building, the younger of the two looked up at her scene with concerning willingness.
I really am alright. You're very kind to worry.
Ren's smile was one of genuine kindness. From then on, Ren did indeed stop coming to school, citing illness as the official reasons behind her absence. The students gathered in the Academy's auditorium for several days after the long-awaited Student Council election. Aramis Academy as a whole was placed great importance on the autonomy of its students, and as such, the Student Council exercised an unusual amount of power. It also weighed upon them a massive amount of responsibility, such as being the sole planner for the Academy Festival, a symbol and celebration of spring in the capital. This, however, also led to the position being a major status symbol even long after graduation. All of this is why a large number of students put their names forward to become Student Council president every year. Yet this year, a great majority of the most promising candidates dropped out under mysterious circumstances, leaving only Ronald and others associated with him on the ballot. I couldn't exactly boast about winning by default. Ronald and his supporters sat in the rest area, chuckling among themselves at the whole affair. Perhaps his name wasn't the only one on the ballot, but none of the others had done any certifiable campaigning, and his election was possibly assured. Eventually, the time came for him to give a speech. It was a compelling one. He played the part of a great, respectable young gentleman, and he delivered it with speaking in that same silver tongue he inherited from his father. There were some moments where he failed to hide his arrogance, but as no one had else prepared a speech to give, this was not the blow to his campaign it otherwise would have been. Now, if you could turn your eyes to the scene, the screen supported with the back of the auditorium. This was a rather notable feature to have in the school building, to have anywhere, and was installed several years prior to use in lectures and to display recreational films. Other nations had yet to indulge in such luxuries, showing just how far ahead Calvert was in his technology. Up until then, students had used it to display photographs during their speeches, but Ronald intended to take another step further. He wanted to share a promotional video, and a simple makeshift self-produced one that might ordinarily be presented by an amateur, but rather a professional work that he paid a considerable amount of mirror for. Its quality was generally impressive. His victory was written in stone, but this he knew would cement it that much more. Convinced this would serve as a perfect beginning to his ascension to the top of social hierarchy, he started the video, and Ren hacked it. The musical number was playing was rousing. Fitting for what followed was Ronald appearing up on the screen. So much mirror do you want for supporting me? I can make it worth your while. What? The video playing them was not the one intended. Rather than an inspiration show of what he could bring to the student body, it was a recording of him buying off one of his opponents just days before. As hushed whispers of the confusion spread throughout the auditorium, the next clip played. If you know what's good for you, what joy can to see now? All you think you'll be president is of a hospital bed. Next was an equally unexpected scene of Ronald intimidating another candidate into withdrawing the race. As it continued, Ronald realized what was going on. Someone out there had replaced his carefully prepared video with another. The initially hesitant whispered it exploded into loud enough murmurs that he had to raise his voice over them in an attempt to quell the situation. This is all forgery, someone's attempting to frame me! But the gentleman is waiting for Christ to denial. A girl's voice resounded from the auditorium's entrance.
I'm afraid it is all entirely genuine.
Her voice rang out with wonderful clarity, charming all who heard it. She ran her hand through her violent hair and flipped it back as she talked and walked slowly toward the stage.
Bribing, potential threats, blackmailing, threatening, and even executing violence against others, and many other cases of bullying besides. You are guilty on every single count, Ronald Griffith.
Before anyone could fully understand what was happening, this student was on the stage and staring Ronald down. All eyes were fixed upon this elegant figure. Indeed, without any effort at all, she had the air of a protagonist from some epic tale making her long-awaited appearance. Damn it, Reverie, you mustn't sit there, get in my way in every turn! He growled through a sheet of sheer anger. In contrast, the recently absent Ren responded with soothing composure.
You are the one of getting in the way of the fair running of this important election. Your countless crimes have made a mockery of this whole process.
Ren then turned from Ronald to the rest of the student body as she continued to list his crimes still alongside the still running video. Some elicited frowns, others sympathy, others complete silence, but by the time she was finished, all were united in a single overpowering emotion, anger.
It brings me no joy to say this about a fellowship, but I'm afraid I must say it. Ronald Griffith, you do not deserve to even attend this prestigious academy, much less be the president of its student council.
Similar censure from the other students followed in rapid succession.
Yeah, she's right! Stop ruining our academy! You've gone too far!
Ren's accusation wasn't the only reason for their anger. The students at Aramis had long loathed Ronald's oppressive behavior. They hadn't spoken out before they were afraid of his father's power, but now they realized that he could be stopped. Their anger had reached an explosive boiling point. Ronald suddenly found himself at the center of a torrent of abuse. He looked at his lackeys for support, but even they refused to meet his gaze. It then dawned on him how fragile all he thought he built was. Rage gave way to an instant deep despair, and casting a glare of pure hatred toward Ren, Ronald hurriedly sprinted out of the auditorium. Only when he was completely out of sight did the air erupt with cheers of joy. Deserved. In the end, addressing the aftermath of the election took long enough that by the time she left for the gates, it was already evening. Yet, with how late it was, instead of walking her usual route home, she stepped off the path to enter an entirely unoccupied path.
How does this work? No one's going to interrupt us here. How about you come out?
In response to her words, Ronald emerged before her for the first time since he ran away earlier in the day, and with 10 or so companions in tow. These men weren't his usual lackeys, but instead vicious figures with dark expressions and gaudy clothing. They were clearly not students of the academy. More than likely, they belonged to some local gang.
You don't keep very good company out.
So you don't keep very good company outside of school now, do you? With how they're dressed up, I assume you must be up to a party or something.
I'm going to work the smoke riding with face good rise. My dabbling future and politics guaranteed, and now you've gone and ruined everything. What's my do with my father now?
That's not you, that's your problem, not mine. Are you so small a man that you can't own up to the consequences of your mistakes?
Not a second passed between his outburst and the manner in which she snapped back, causing his temper to grow twice as vile.
That's it, I don't care what it takes. You're going to pay for the thing you crossed my ears. Have at her. Don't be a consequence of going too far. My father will see to that.
The men sprung into motion at Ronald's signal, but what followed made them doubt their eyes. Ronald couldn't understand what just unfolded before him. His eyes relayed the information well enough, but his eyes rejected completely. The second after he orders his new lackeys to attack, Ren produced a monetarily sized black and gold scythe from thin air. This in itself was beyond comprehension, but it wasn't the last thing to see. The scene was like a cat toying with a powerless cornered mouse, except in this shocking case, Ren was the cat, and his men were the mice. They surrounded her at first, and yet all it took was a single swing of her conjured weapon to cause most of them to collapse to the ground. In less than 10 seconds, their confidence had crumbled with their bodies. The mice made to scurry as fast as they could, but the cat gleefully gave chase, given there were moments where she let a few think they had gotten away, only for her to immediately close the gap between them. It was only after she was bored that she would knock them unconscious. Like the rest, she would then seek delight in her next hunt. Like heavy sacks of potatoes, the men fell one by one, only until only Ren and Ron were left. This is so fucking raw. Holy shit.
This can't be happening!
The young man was still struggling to come to terms with what he had just witnessed as Wen stretched their limbs like a bored child gearing up to play.
Amateurs, every last one of them. I thought I could at least have a little fun. But don't you worry, I didn't actually slaughter them.
She turned her gaze from the spectacle of her own creation to Ronald. Raw as fucking shit.
Would you be open to give me a little more entertainment, perhaps, Ronald?
Ronald twitched in fear at the mention of his name. In this moment, she was now nothing more than a beast in human skin.
Stay away from me! My father's in Parliament! You tried anything and you regret it!
Her response was an expression of pure pity before tossing what appeared to be a magazine as his feet.
It's one of today's tabloids. You might find its contents irrelevant.
What?
At first he was battled by the shift, but the second he picked at the cover, his face went pale. Representative Grith is suspected of bribery in connection to organized crime, read the headline in giant punchy lettering.
There's a whole special feature on your dearest daddy, complete with evidence. It mentions the CID is going to be conducting an investigation as well. So this may be the last day you can say he's in Parliament. My condolences.
No!
So visceral was his shock at the news that the simple word was all he could muster. Even then, Ren wasn't finished.
So now that he's removed from the equation, I'll ask again, would you be open to giving me a little more entertainment?
She edged closer and closer, scythe in hand, and a sadistic smile lacing her lips. Ronald tried to retreat in fear before tripping over a rock and falling hopelessly on his backside. All he could do was watch as though she were the Grim Reaper, tears and snot streaming down his face.
Be a doll and play with me. Then you'll understand why they used to call me the Angel of Slaughter.
She raised her scythe above her head and readied to swing it downward before realizing what she said.
Oops, a grown woman wouldn't play with dolls, would she? And here I thought I could better control my childish glee.
She covered her mouth with her free hand, brushing with feminine modesty at his slip-up. None of this was behavior befitting the proper lady she wanted to reflect. After composing herself, she turned her attention back to her prey, only to see he was already unconscious.
Finished?
As she left the park, a young man called out to her, "Finished!"
I certainly am.
Ren met eyes with a brown-skinned young man leaning covertly against one of the trees. Is this Zin? It was assumed he had witnessed the entire affair unfold. No, who is this? Hello. He glanced inside the park for a brief moment, before speaking with slight but genuine admiration.
You really are something.
In what way?
In every way. Even I was more struck by the hacking capabilities of the famous Kitty than the combat prowess of the infamous Angel Slaughter. Still, hard to believe you managed to find dirt on that big wet dad so easily.
Ren's response was matter-of-fact, showing no sign of his praise had gone to his head.
Most people just aren't as cautious about cybersecurity as they ought to be. Understandable with how new most are to it. Of course, it isn't nearly as easy as this was when you're dealing with corporations and politicians at the top of the food chain.
You made it sound like you've tried before.
Maybe I have.
Ren's smile was both cryptic. It's this goat and this round steward. I don't know this person. This is a character I don't know, so I'm happy about it. Ren's smile was both cryptic and darling.
I've been more impressed with you. You were also quick to write a piece so that's scathing. You were quick to write a piece that's scathing while also finding me exactly.
I've been more impressed with you.
But also finding me exactly the proof I needed.
Also, okay, so he's going to be the journalist for this game, I guess, for the next game. I'm glad Grace introduced us. There you go.
Just doing my job.
The man's name was Dingo, and he was a professional reporter for a tabloid. Dingo, hey? He was extremely capable at his job, very well connected, and held a reputation for never shying away from danger. After being introduced to one another by Grace Lynn, he and Ren made a deal with one another just a few days prior. The terms were simple. Dingo would provide Ren with proof of Ronald's misdemeanors, and Ren would use her hacking ability to provide evidence of his father's crimes. Both were now reaping the rewards of the other's success.
Though I admit, I did get some help from a friend. He was none too pleased about being asked to look into a scummy politician's equally scummy son, but he pulled through.
Oh, you have all kinds of connections, don't you?
She did sense someone other than Dingo was acting on her behalf while she was off school, but she wasn't sure who that someone was. This curious sensation regarding their identity remained as she continued the conversation.
You know, I'm surprised that you didn't meet any resistance in running that story.
So, I'm surprised you didn't meet any resistance running that story.
That just goes to show how big a fan the government was a fan of Griffith.
They left him behind because he didn't actively oppose the current president's party, but from the CID's perspective, this chance to take him down was about as good as it was going to get.
That does sound like something Miss Taito Mouse over there would do. I can't say I like the feeling of being used by her, but oh well.
Taito Masa being Killiko, right? Dingo then made a curious observation.
I have to wonder why you went to such length to get rid of a small fry like him. He really bother you that much?
Ren glanced briefly at Ron, who still collapsed on the ground of the park before shrugging her shoulders dismissively.
Not in the least. I didn't intend for this to go as far as it did either. I only wanted to teach him enough of a lesson, so he'd leave me alone, but...
It was then the younger student who tried to save her came to mind.
I think the student is a much better student council president than him.
He then let out a titter that was most refined. As Ren expected, the allegations that led to Ronald's father to resign from Parliament, while he resigned from Aramis Academy. The group of students who exerted power over the student body with his backing vanished overnight. As a result, bidding peace to return to the grounds for the first time in too long. Only one thing, however, came about from this that Ren had not expected in the least. She became president.
Here are the budgets.
Next month, the student council news. Hold on.
Here are all the new documents relating to the next month's budget.
The student council's new president accepted the documents from the blonde-haired first year in charge of general affairs, pursuing them right away. After Ronald dashed from the auditorium on the day of the election, most of those in his groups who put down their name dropped out in a timely fashion. Voting still took place even then, but once all was said and done, nearly 70% of the votes cast were disqualified. This was because they were all in favor of someone who never put their name on the ballot, Ren Pride. Aramis Academy was known for how little staff interfered with the many liberties that it gave its students. But this time, the staff was clearly concerned with that dissatisfaction with Ren was going to present dire problems in the future. The teachers then chose to directly negotiate with Ren, and in the face of such fervent demand, she reluctantly accepted the position of Student Council President. None of her duties posed a challenge to her, but by accepting it, she had completely and utterly failed her initial goal of avoiding attention.
I wonder if this shows. This is how the Thor's Branch Campus first Student Council President felt when he told me he was elected. Even I couldn't believe it when Tita told me.
You're talking about fucking Ash! Holy shit!
It is alright, it is what it is, I suppose. I'll just have to make best useful what I can.
Sunlight beamed into the student council room. The blonde-haired girl and the two of her friends struggled with the new workload they were adjusting to. I recognize... Yeah, I see Agnes there. I think I've seen the character in the middle there. I do not recognize the guy on the right. As Ren sat there, ears open to random talk, the occasional grumble, a thought crossed her mind. She had no end of real-world worries, the problems arising from rapid technological development, the society's next mood, the ominous winds of change blustering over Calvard. Barry. Oh my god. But despite all of those, she wanted to enjoy her simple time while she could.
What say we get this work done so we can celebrate with a tea party,
The arrival of spring was now a distant memory, even if some had yet to come. There was nothing particularly spectacular about this time. It was just another ordinary, beautifully bright afternoon. An unconventional student. The end. Is there a third one? Forward, sword in hand. Alright. This is Elaine. I didn't expect how long this would take. September 1207 of the September calendar, so a bit further back in time.
I cannot accept.
I was not one to mince words. The hulking bear of a veteran bracer, Zin Vatek, could not hide his disappointment, puffing out his bottom lip with a sigh as he stood before me. Yeah, this is the bracer they were talking about, I bet. Not again. You gotta resign yourself to the inevitable one of these days.
I've been indebted to this man who was as capable as he was kind. This is my first days in the guild. Truly, I didn't want to be a source of vexation for him. But the wish alone was not enough. I have neither the experience nor skill worthy of an A rank, so I cannot accept your recommendation.
Bracers are assigned ranks based on their strength and achievements, with A rank being the highest on paper, at least. Its members are the very face of its beloved organization. As such, ranks a metaphorical badge of honor to be worn with pride. Ren finds one marginally, perhaps. Hey, Zeon! So I received multiple...
How had I received multiple recommendations for the most prestigious rank in 6 months? I spent no effort in working to hone my craft in the years I joined after school, and certainly I wouldn't classify myself as a doe-eyed newcomer, but to have my name among the greats of the guild, absolutely not!
But turning down my first recommendation,
the second one had come to the guild from the guild's headquarters in Le Mans.
If you ask me, you got both in spades.
there's something else making you lead towards a no. Zin's awkward smile told me he had been pressured by headquarters to persuade me. I folded my arms.
Setting aside whether you're overestimating
me or not, which I believe you are, there is. I would very much not like to stand out more than I already do. But getting offers to be a model, to star in films, it's been frankly exhausting forcing them to give up. Now, what do you think would happen if I were to accept a promotion? I'd be neck deep in the same mess all over again.
Okay, that makes sense, but sorry, you're one 1-2 punch in beauty and broads department, trying to lay lows across a lost cause. With the kind of fans you're getting, maybe you should consider the silver screen after all. Who knows? You might walk away with an award from the film festival.
Zin's laugh was hearty in a contrast to my unassumed frown.
Much as I respected him, he could do with showing a little more decorum. That's not funny. I understand being in the public eye, to some extent is inevitable. I've accepted it, but I'm a bracer, not an entertainer.
I wasn't trying to be funny though. You gotta find a way to let off some steam. You're gonna need a break. You're gonna break when we need to put you together the most.
Oh, I'm guessing Judith's probably a fucking film star then, based on the gifs I've seen.
Happens to the workaholics like you more often than you think.
I didn't think I was pushing myself up as much as he implied, but I couldn't deny there was a nugget of truth to what he said. We're getting off topic. Just why is headquarters so desperate for me to become a believer at Bracer? I can't see the logic behind it.
Well, you see, starting with what you know, the reparations from everybody have beefed up the economy this year, so all kinds of new investments are pouring in from across the continent. Now, I'm not an economist, but people go where the money's at, and where people go, conflict follows. That's just how it is.
I saw where he was going from there, electing to expand upon the rest myself. So now we have disputes between mega corporations and a stark increase in Jaeger activity. These are in addition to the known growth of private military companies and increased tensions between mafias.
You got it. You think it's bad now? It's only gonna get worse from here. That's why Lamont wants up security here, while promoting a rising star, you. They see it as good PR for the guild and a deterrent to any potential threats that are thinking about stepping out of line. Perhaps
I'm more vaguely aware of their goal in using me than I want to admit it, but this doesn't make hearing the answer any more satisfying.
If they have you ask me to play my part, then surely they have asked you to play your part already. Been recommended for S rank, haven't you? If you know of a better deterrent than having an S rank in Carvard, then I'd like to hear it. Zin scratched the back of his head awkwardly upon my statement. Wait, hang on. Sorry.
If they've asked you to play my part, then you surely have asked you to play your part already. If you know of a better deterrent than having an S rank in Carvard, I'd like to hear it.
I just don't think I'm up there with someone like Cassius Bright. S isn't even an official rank, and even if it was, just look at me. You think a guy like me is picture-perfect advertisement for the guild?
I think I have the skills, achievement, and the build to be one, yes.
A curt, quick response. Alright, point made. I can't force you to take the recommendation, and I'm not going to be a hypocrite. Just, let me know if you change your mind, okay? With that, the conversation came to an end, and the guild's bracers gathered to begin our routine meeting of delegating upon requests.
This is how I prefer things. It was better to stay like this. There's a point when I wanted to be something more, so I can no longer remember what that was. Sometime during my childhood it happened, I'm sure. I recall realizing just how small the world truly was, so I prayed and longed to become someone I was not. It was around high school when I thought I became that someone. Those years were unforgettable. I'll never forget the unexpected reunion that I had there, nor for the priceless treasure I had gained. I truly thought I'd gotten closer to who I wanted to be, but in the end it was just wishful thinking. My hand, once held, was now empty, and I was still nobody. But I refused to stand still. I grew unrelenting in following my new path I chose for myself, ignoring my family's objections. My motivations had changed, however. I no longer possessed that girlhood of a desire, becoming something more, becoming someone. I just need to keep moving, however aimless that movement was.
Well, aren't we looking gorgeous today? With a whimsical wink, a familiar bartender welcomed me to his establishment. He was a tall, affable man who lived by his own rules. This is crossbell music from Cold Steel 3, I think. No, this is just crossbell music, isn't it? He was a tall, affable man who lived by his own rules and never hesitated to lend me a helping hand to the others. He reminded me of Crossbell City's branch receptionist from the few times I visited for work. The place was nearly empty today. I sat down on the counter, farthest from the door as he approached. The usual, sweetheart.
I stopped by here after a hard day's work on occasion. Whenever I did, I always ordered coffee and a light snack. This was not coffee and snacks kind of day. I want something with alcohol, even beer would do.
Not at all fazed by the vagueness of order of my own, he walked away and started preparing my drink. It wasn't long before he returned with the place and placed an elegant glass in front of me. This is just straight up crossbow music. I think this is a little more you than a beer. There's a beautiful cocktail composed of two colors, a clear blue like that of a priceless sapphire and a climbing jade. No doubt he could tell how disquieted my heart was and trying to soothe it in his own way. I thanked him inwardly before daring to broach my other reason for coming.
Have you learned anything more about what I asked?
Apart from being a skilled bartender, he was also a well-known informant. He's extremely well connected to the guild, the press, and even the criminal underworld, but he was very careful not to overstep his bounds with that last one. Indeed, I found him to be a valuable source when needed. I wish I could say yes, but not even Dingo has any promising leads. Still, I see, it's linking, I see. Still, I think you've got your eyes on the right district. It's only a matter of time before they get me smoked out.
I see. since the guild's investigation turned up nothing, I was hoping he would be a better point to me in the right direction. He would better point me in the right direction. But it seemed this was going to be a lot harder than I hoped for.
Things will work out. Just pace yourself and keep it at a little bit at a time. This also applies to that cocktail. It's a strong one, so don't drink it all at once.
I tilted. Sorry, this also. Things will work out. Just pace yourself and keep it at a little bit at a time. This all applies to the cocktail. It's a strong one, so don't drink it all at once. Tilted the glass delicately between my fingers as he stepped away, my mind continuing to wade through the cases I was following.
There'd been a stark increase in illegal drugs on the market, not any drugs, but ones of the highly addictive, dangerous variety. AUA, who effectively ruled over the criminal underworld in Kalvar, ordinarily limited their proliferation in the market as part of their rules. Limiting the number of drugs was of course far from the ideal elimination of them, but none could deny that the syndicate's action had brought some semblance of order to where chaos often reigned supreme. Yet the past few years had seen a wandering number of criminal groups rebelling against these carefully curated rules. One of these groups was solely behind the change in market, and all of this held a presumed connection to two missing people. The guild and police had been tasked with searching for children below the age of 10, a boy and his younger sister. They simply left the house one day and had not been seen since. Evidence suggested they came from a perfectly ordinary family on good terms with one another, so the likelihood of them running away was slim. We mulled over the suspicion that they had not... They had been abducted for ransom early on, but not a single demand was made following their disappearance, so it was quickly ruled out. Despite a healthy amount of manpower was coming from both sides, neither the guild nor police had yet to find them. That said, the search so far had proved entirely fruitless. Their last known location was fortunately established, and it was unfortunately a popular site for illicit drug trade. The working theory from there became the discipline with the transaction and were held captive by the criminal parties involved as a result. If that held true, the longer it took the parties to find, the greater danger their lives would be in. The abductors wouldn't do anything right away. Murder was sure to leave trace evidence behind. It was only a matter of time before they resorted to that or trafficking them abroad to be rid of them. With each passing second, levels of the children being returned unharmed were dropping to zero. At the same time, all of this was pure speculation, on our part based on a single established location. For all we knew, this had nothing to do with the criminal underworld at all. The potential dangers thrown around made indication in action an agonizing task, but there was no evidence to go on. But if there was no evidence to go on, the action was impossible. We could forcibly arrest any suspicious people on sight and make them talk, should we wish it. But that would be a direct violation of the guild's code and its founding principles. The Bracer Guild sought to be an ally of the people first and foremost, so resorting to the criminal acts to obtain evidence was out of the question. If only the strict adherence to our code would stop us from being able to resolve so many crimes, thereby putting the people we swore to protect in danger. It was the ultimate impasse. As I found myself pondering this impossible dilemma, the Bracers had placed themselves in a familiar face came to mind. It was a childhood friend with blue-tinged, unkempt hair. Though we had lost blue-tinged, unkempt hair. We had lost contact with him some years before. He one day returned to the city as suddenly as had left it. Soon after starting a peculiar profession that skirted the line of legality to a dangerous degree.
Oh, this is Van! This is Van! This is Van Arkwright. Because he's got the solutions office. See, I know a bit too much about Kuro.
The kind of profession that could easily involve himself in the affairs of any unscrupulous individual, or so I believed. Just what did that idiot think he was doing? He walked out of my life without warning and walked back in much the same. I'd spent so much time searching for him, I knew our reunion would be an awkward one based on how we parted, but for him to return after all that waiting, all that searching, and dive into some questionable enterprise so different from my own, was almost too much to bear. I gave rise to many concerns as a bracer, and many more concerns as a friend. And the one that bothered me most was, why didn't you come to see me? Did you have any idea how worried I was about him? How worried I am about him? Irritation building. It took a large gulp of my cocktail, but the alcohol only fanned the flames of anger burning in my heart. They burned brighter and brighter still, becoming a dazzling white that projected countless transient images of the past. Then just as quickly as it fled, my anger faded in an instant, replacing itself with a very difficult emotion altogether. Why did you leave me this word slip from my mouth before realizing it, making me feel downright pitiful once they were said? For someone to see me in this state. You still haven't moved on, I see. A familiar, unexpected voice called out to me, causing me to jump from surprise. I quickly regained my composure.
I have just a few choice words I'd like to say.
My response feigned calmness as best I could. Could help but think I had a few choice words. Really, but following up that would aid my annoyance anywhere.
Hang on. Sorry.
I have a few choice words I'd like to say. My response framed the calmness as best I could, but I couldn't help but think I had more than a few choice words. But following up with that would aid my annoyance in any way, in a way I'd rather not further.
Oh, I imagine you still have more few.
Of course he would see right through me. The speckled man sat down next to me, as though running into a child was no coincidence.
The speckled? Huh.
He was not the childhood friend of both myself and the one I was lamenting over, and someone who followed a remarkably different career path from either one of us.
If it's still bothering you that much, why not go and see him? You surely have his address by now, surely.
How could I, with so much time that's passed?
As I mumbled my response meekly,
I thought I could hear the man next to me chuckle.
well then, I suppose there's no need to rush things. With your lines of work, I'm sure all your paths will cross naturally in due time. I didn't expect that kind of response.
You make it sound so romantic.
Lest you've forgotten, I don't struggle expressing what's in my heart the way he does. Now, since we're here, how about a toast? I'll make yours next one non-alcoholic.
Unless you've forgotten that I can handle my liquor just fine, thank you very much.
We then spent the rest of our time reminiscing about the past. It'd been too long since we were able to just sit and talk like this. It wasn't that he and I had become estranged, but both of us made it a trying task to even meet at the best of times.
By the way,
I heard the word you turned down becoming an A-rank bracer.
Of course that wouldn't escape the CID's ears.
I see. The information itself wasn't confidential, but he already knew something, however unofficial it was. He already knew something, however unofficial it was entirely typical of him. The Bracer Guild focused on protecting civilians, while the CID focused solely on the needs of the President in office. The groups were neither enemies nor allies, they simply had very different goals where work was concerned. I know it isn't my place to tell you to accept the offer, however, he paused before resuming, his tone becoming markedly more serious. The time we live in demand a new hero, that much is clear. I had no idea what a realist like him was trying to say by implying I was a hero, but before I could inquire further, he changed the subject that was likely brought to him to find me in the first place. Now, if you don't mind, I have something that'll be interviewed regarding those missing children. My eyes widened from the unexpected change. He continued. You identified the group that made the district their turf, as well as have compelling evidence of a crime taking place. You may proceed as you like in cooperation with the police. I couldn't believe it. On a fine silver platter, he had just given me course to act, and since the information came directly from the ICID, there was no reason to doubt its veracity. I felt it. I was on the verge of rekindling my girlhood desires. Well, all I'd done now was follow life where it was taking me, and yet here I found myself performing a new path that could lead someone to that someone I once wanted to be. This deviation terrified me. What if it led me to losing someone again? What if it ended in more pain? My fear begged me to stay idle. I was a fragile human being at my core. I knew it well. It made me wish I was anything but. It inspired me to take up the sword and rebel against any whispers of weakness. And I played the part of admirably on the surface. But if I was forced to face a cruel reality in the future, I wondered, would my heart be able to take it? As I sidestepped to the left, I shifted my center of gravity and unleashed a flurry of slashes against my first foe, using that momentum to thrust both myself and my blade towards my second. Two low-ranking mobsters fell to the ground. They were members of the Mafia I've been chasing, and as right now I was in thick of the den of operations. My friend gave the guild and police the excuse we needed to take a more direct stance against our targets. This information was vague, however, so we still had to discern their precise location on our own. I, Zin, and several other bracers agreed it would be best to split our forces and attack several locations in unison, for this is part of our mission. Based on what just transpired, it appeared my location was the lucky winner. There's the intruder! I've seen before, shoot from the paper!
More reinforcements came, but I was hardly going to give them time to act. I raced forward, swinging my sword twice as I passed them, and they fell before they could even raise their weapons. I advanced, mobsters appeared in droves, presumably word of my arrival had already been spread. There she is! The bracelet going around! Okay, well, damn it. What are the movals here, too? Don't do chicken shit! Woman, we can take care of her! They then charged at me en masse. At least 10 of them, with more reinforcements on their way, farther inside the building. Forcing my way through with how many they had in number was risky. I knew the sensible thing to do would be to wait for the other braces to show, but I also had to consider what if my waiting afforded the mafia time to wield the children's hostages. Weighing the two options, I concluded that whatever the reduced chance of happening was worth the cost. You should push on to settle this now. Besides, I believed they had nothing to fear from this pitiful group. I had nothing to fear from this pitiful group as they were. Were they seasoned combat veterans? They could have used their numerical advantage to implement complex formations and corner me, but they did no such thing, the amateurs. And they dared to believe they had held to counter Heiyue's martial arts. In the face of one of my experience, Heiyue's martial arts, I see, their bloated size was more of a hindrance than a help. They wouldn't be able to utilize even half of the potential against me. I first had to position myself and aim and aim appropriately. I could ensure the gun-toting wielders among them were in each other's line of fire, while ramming up the close range of fighters with a single spot. They would soon have bigger warriors' friendly fire. Their vulnerabilities would then spell my victory as I cut them down. 1 down, 2 down. The precious seconds after defeating a foe were the most advantageous. I was on to another brought the time to adjust to my incoming blade. There was no pattern to what was next by design. I chose my targets with stunning erraticism, throwing them to complete disarray as more collapsed to the ground. 3 down, 4. I would go around them in a wide circle. I would move between them, while remaining ever aware of any surprise assaults at my back. I waded through them till I encountered the ones at the farthest back. These ones, never even considered I would be able to reach them. They were spread so carelessly. The men took up their guns with newly alert panic strewn across their faces, but their fate was already sealed. They were powerless as I closed the gap between us. 5, 6, 7. With over half their number down, the remaining mobsters were capable of using their will to counter. Some attacked out of adrenaline, induced desperation, calculating their next move so poorly that they fell into a long-set trap and accidentally attacked themselves. At this point, the battle was good as final. All I had to do was continue taking them down till I was the last one standing. There were smaller groups I encountered on my way through the building, but I was able to disable them with little effort. The path they opened up for me eventually led to their leader. He was a middle-aged fellow pacing recklessly around with an unpleasantly gaudy room until I entered. He twitched in fear upon the very sight of me. "Why are you here? Where are my men?" Kissing the floors, answered so calmly and concisely that he balked in disbelief. "That's impossible. I sweat off my balls to build this group, and you saying a girl like you tore it down all just like that." I ignored his crew language drew closer. I thrust my sword to a stat just beneath his eye, and he let us go. "Well, I'm no ordinary girl. I'm a bracer. And don't worry, I didn't kill them. They have only been knocked out or restrained. You'll be seeing them soon. Again soon in prison." I shot a darkened glare in his direction, as the tip of my sword wandered downward to his neck. "Now I have some questions for you, and you will answer them." The man nodded apathetically, with his whole body trembling from fear. "2 children, a boy and a girl under 10 years old, disappeared last night. Your people adopted them, didn't they?" He nodded. "I knew it. Then where were they? What did you do to them?" "They were father inside. They're alive!" At last I could breathe a sigh of relief. My most fundamental objective from coming here would be fulfilled. Next, I needed to ask him about more of this group. "I thought you all seemed far too weak to be charged for this district, but after coming across your count book, everything fell into place. You're working on behalf of someone else, aren't you?" He was so unsure of how to respond that he fell completely silent. "Who is it then? Tell me. Is it A?" "A? Xenoblade?" I can't! He flinched in fear as I pressed him, resisting as though he genuinely couldn't say it. Then, just as he opened his trembling lips to escape, I heard a strange thudding sound from outside the word. I stepped away from the man, my sword still firmly in hand. Crunching, scorching, splattering, more sounds. These more audible than the first. I didn't know what to make of them, but they made me feel an instinctive revulsion as they dragged on. They may have come accompanied by faint groans, but if they did, they faded just as soon as the sounds I had. I remained on guard as I stepped out into the hallway, ready to be attacked from any angle at any moment. And the sight that, yeah, I had a feeling it would be something like that. And the sight that greeted me defied all imagination. The mobsters I fought through mere minutes ago were now nothing more than distorted, mutilated piles of flesh and bone. Not just one or two. Every single one of them, without exception, had been reduced to bloody mounds. Some were without heads, others had organs ripped from their abdomens. Then there were those with skulls caved in and leaking pulverized brain matter. Or for ones with their hearts pulled out and squeezed. Each corpse was different. Each corpse was unbearable to look at. The plain hallway I had traversed with all due speed was now covered in sticky, slimy red. Who could have done something like this? The sight was so awful that my free hand, now clenched, shook from disgust. Well, was it ever necessary to go this far? What could anyone have to do to remember? Wait, no! I realized I had just made a very careless mistake. I turned to hurry back to the room I was just in. I was too late. The Mafia's leader was floating in the air at the center of the room, with some unknown force holding up by his chest. A monstrous sword pierced through his chest, a single streak of blood dripping from his unspeaking mouth. There was no room to believe he was anything but dead. Like all the others in the hallway, he didn't seem to even have time to scream before his life was taken. Who are you? I barked at the center of the room, trying to drown out my instinctive fear with anger. At a glance, only the corpse and I were present, but if I strained my eyes, I could also see the fade contours of another distorting the space around them. It must have been some form of active camouflage. I thought it would be basic courtesy to give your name before...
asking another's timing. I saw the Bracer Guild. It was a man's voice that projected true arrogance,
as though he were above all others as a matter of course. Instinctively readied myself for battle in response. My actions seemed not to faze him in the slightest.
No need to be spoiling for a fight. I'm simply here to take care out the trash after they were careless enough to leave a trail for the CID to follow.
Was I really speaking to a fellow human being? How could he speak with such gruesome murders in those terms?
Are you a business partner of those? No,
you must be from the group above them.
Very good. He then swung his blade to the side, to slide and toss the corpse off to the side, with all the respect of a used cigarette.
How could you treat people you work like this?
People, have your ears? I have nothing talking about a person. I said nothing about talking about a person, only trash.
The same applies to the garbage piling up in the hallway. They've always been so, even before they stopped breathing. It was clear that communicating with someone with his nature was impossible. I dismissed the calm reason for an intense, all-consuming anger so great that my entire body couldn't stop trembling. You monster! Before I knew it, I'd sprung into action, pouting every drop of my strength into my blade, to launch a swift, unavoidable strike. But he repelled it with one vertical swing of his own. This one exchange was enough to tell me that his strength was a league above my own. Above mine. It parried my blow at the most perfect instant, cancelling out the force of my attack with so little effort that it barely scratched the surface of what he was capable of. The active camouflage did nothing to hide the monstrous nature of his cruciform sword either. Its design combined silver and black in an unholy fusion of darkness and light, as if chaos itself dwelled within its very blade. It was no common weapon. Even if I continued to give it my all, my odds of winning against him were extremely slim. But at the same time, my instincts were screaming at me that I could not allow him to leave. I charged again. If attacking from the front wasn't going to work, then I would have to go for his side. He blocked that attack with just as little effort. But I wasn't done yet. I refused to stop moving, slashing a third time with even more speed than the first two. I shot him a flurry of them, each one faster than the last. When I finally reached my physical limit, I darted in a new direction, attacking him from behind. I put my very soul into one overwhelming attack, aimed directly at his rear, which I could only just make out through the camouflage's distortion. I got him! Over the second I became sure victory was in my grasp, his cruciform blade carved its great arc through the air in a ferocious spinning slash. I was able to instantly defend myself against the blow, but the force of it sent me flying backward. I was fortunate to have not sustained a direct hit, but my body shook from now being able to fully cancel out its massive weight. Still, I forced myself back to invade and glided his form. The difference between us was night and day. It felt as though he could manipulate the very flow of battle, much like a true master of martial arts who understood the very true nature of things. I paid no mind to my pitiful attempt at bravado, and he gave a short laugh before speaking. Impressive. You put up more of a fight than the rumors led me to believe. What's your goal? What are you trying to do with all your strength? I expected to reject or ignore me. So I was taken aback when he paused for a sincere moment of thought before answering. An interesting question. I suppose to instill fear. Fear? I almost danced in my ears. Fear is at the heart of all we know. Domination and servitude. Order, harmony, and production. All of it exists because of fear. That is why I seek to instill fear in its purest form. Much like the Retributive Tower, the Retributive Babel Tower that appeared in Crossbow half a year ago. Such a pity that it fell. There was much pleasure in his word that made it easy to imagine the expression on his veiled face. As insane as what he was saying sounded to me, I knew he meant every word of it. You really are a monster. Continue your fruitless attempt to stop me, and you will understand what I mean in due time. He lowered his blade as a parting gift for assisting me in my house cleaning efforts. I will let you and the children go. Keep that far to pristine blade sharp for our next meeting, bracer. With that, he turned to leave. Wait! Just as I extend my hand, the ground below emitted a bright glow, and by the time that glow had faded, he was gone. He had likely used the same teleportation skill that certain other criminal organizations were known to rely on. His departure also released all the strength I had left in me, not from relief, but from the exact opposite. I was so overwhelmed with frustration that I let him leave, so afraid that what he might go on to do because I couldn't stop him, that I lost the strength to even stand. Of course, this is just who I've always been. I haven't changed one bit since the day he left me. I'm still the same powerless girl I was since back then. My work here wasn't finished. I walked to the next room. I opened the door and greeted by what appeared to be an old storage space. There across the hall, I found who I was searching for. The brother and sister pair were crashed against the wall, boy trembling on the floor as his sister took away. It's okay, I'm here to help you. I kept my tone gentle and reassuring as I was able. The girl smiled, with the older brother while her older brother continued to hide his fast. I slowly walked towards them, careful as I did not to make any sudden movement, but as I did, the boy shook his head vigorously. His whole body trembled more the closer I got, as though he was telling me to stay away. The answer from that man flashed in my mind. Fear is at the heart of all we know. These poor children were very much in fear's clutches. No matter how gradual I was in closing the distance between myself and the boy, trying to best not provoke him, his body language showed he continued to reject me. We're now within an arm's length of another. His shaking grew more violent, as though he opened his mouth to speak. His voice refused to come out. It's all right. I smiled a most comforting smile. After that, I reached out behind me and grasped the blade of the knife that was being thrust toward me. I turned swiftly, never letting go, and found the one gripping the hilt to be none other than the sister. She had tiptoed behind my back while I was kneeling to meet her brother and tried to stab me from behind. She was a bit startled by my holding her attack, but otherwise she stayed blankly forward, emotion on her face nowhere to be seen. I suppose he was right about fear. It controls everything we do. It must have been something terrifying if it made you resort to this. No doubt they were conditioned by fear to attack anyone who came to their rescue. I paid no mind to the blood from my bare hands slowly dripping to the floor. The cut from the knife was nothing compared to everything else in the moment. My priority was instead to reassure the girl that I meant no harm. But we humans are capable of more than giving in to that fear. We can fight it. With courage, we can fight it. Your brother was doing it just now. He may have been gripped by fear, but he still fought his hardest through his action to alert me at the danger he supposed. Even if it took all it's had, he wanted to keep me safe and to keep her from committing an irreversible, regrettable act. It was thanks to him that I noticed what she was trying to do. You don't have to be afraid anymore. I'm a bracer. I'll keep you safe. I took the girl into my arms. You're a bracer! Even her voice was the mode of emotion. That's right. I'm here to help you. Oh, I think you've seen in a magazine before. Something blade between. I think. That's right. The nickname is a little embarrassing, but I'm happy if you remember it. That's why. As long as you hear it, you'll know I'm here to keep you out of his way. I tightened my grip around her as if to stop anything from more from hurting her and surround her heart with my warmth. It really will be okay, I promise. I noticed her eyes twitch, and just slightly before her eyes filled with tears. Soon she began to sniffle. At first a small one here, and even there, till they gradually grew more pronounced. eventually turning into uncontrollable sobs. She had finally been liberating from her fear.
This is a new song.
As for me, I'd stayed my course.
It's also singer.
I was too afraid to deviate from my current path. Still, I had chosen this path with pride in my heart. I didn't think you'd be right to turn my back on it now, but I wasn't going to let it be an aimless journey from now on either. And so... There was another day in the Edith branch of Calvert's guild. It sounds like that mafia was trying to occupy what
That other organization assassins managed to pull off.
Oh no, this organization's assassin managed to pull off.
I was discussing the recent case with Zin. The siblings had indeed been abducted because they witnessed an illegal transaction. The mafia involved then thought to mimic a group of assassins known for raising children with the intent of turning them into professional killers. Hello!
Their attempts thankfully proved as unsuccessful as their attempts to remain covert in selling drugs. The CID found them, and whoever they were working for purged them. Hell of a way to go. If I hadn't been so incompetent, then maybe they wouldn't purge at all.
Don't beat yourself up about it. The guild's priority is to keep civilians safe, not criminals. I don't want to say they deserve for getting involved in organized crime, but it is what it is. Try putting that frustration in your feeling to more personal growth instead of letting it eat you alive.
I was told that the siblings were going to need psychological counseling for some time. They were fully expected to recover and go back to their everyday lives. Meeting with them to trigger something inside of me. Came to realize something that I needed to change. I had to take some kind of step forward. Even if it ended in me falling to the floor in some dramatic fashion, I just need to pick myself back up again. That might accept my full recommendations. The times we live in demand a new hero. Doing so made me think of what my childhood friend said to me.
That's the back of Van Arkwright, I want to say.
I didn't believe I had what it took to be a hero, but if I could just be a brief one able to give the people hope and banish the darkness ahead, then that was easy enough to keep going. Maybe that could make me somebody enough to fight alongside the real hero that once I came to light. Well, shall we get down to business?
Well, shall we get back down to business?
Zin turned to me, his classic broad grin, even broader than usual.
I'm getting chills, actually. It'll be a while before the official paperwork arrives from the headquarters, but I'm sure they won't mind me speeding up this part of the process with how much they wanted this. The Republic now has a bracer who reach A rank at the same age as the Empire's Purple Lightning. Congratulations on your promotion, Elaine or Claire. There it is. I really wish I wasn't spoiled for this, but fair enough. Beauty's Blade, but also Sword Maiden. I don't know. I don't really think the change in the title really affects that much. Forward, sword in hand, the end. Is that it? That looks like it's it. Hello. Suspension of causality recording engine activity confirmed. Force connection to astral link severed. The whirlpool of causality engulfing Erebos and the fated land have at last been unraveled. Though the bell ringing in the end of days has yet to been silenced. You, children of Zemuria, have earned your moment of peace until the time comes to face the final hour. Until you, with hope and fear in your hearts, must walk true new trails. Damn. I need to sit with that for a bit. Can I speed through this for a sec? Because I want to get this screenshot. Oh, I don't get it again? Really? Anyway. Good game. I actually consider that more part of Kuro than I do this game. I actually don't think it changes my opinion on this game specifically. Yeah. With that, we're finished Trails into Reverie. I don't think I really want to do many of the minigames. Maybe I'll like peep them. Like just like look in. March 12th. Oh god, there's gonna be a whole fucking thing. Regardless of students. Okay, I'm not doing this right now. I don't actually know if I want to do that. Oh, hi Spec. I was just talking about Reverie with him. I don't really feel particularly strongly about doing any of these minigames. I do want to check out Vantage Master's Dojo, but the others, it's like, maybe I'll do them. Maybe I'll do a stream for them, but I'm ready to just move on for the moment. And just a lot. Vantage Master's card game. There's even a legendary dojo said to exist. Okay, I want to see if there's any music. There would be. Alright, I'm good. I can skip them, it's fine. I know I can, but yeah. I gotta make some preparations for it's Christmas Eve. I had a bit of time this morning, so I wanted to just finish off this game before Christmas, because I'll be starting, I think I'm gonna do Sonic Frontiers Final Horizon after Christmas. I think that's the one I play. But yeah, fucking solid 8 out of 10. I don't think this game is like I don't really feel like this game is a particularly like... I don't feel like this game is particularly like a top 2 Trails game or anything. It has a lot of issues, but I'm at least excited for what the future of the series holds again, and that's more than I could ask for after Cold Steel 4. You know, I will say, I think Falcom does better at writing books than they do making games. So far. But yeah, I wish I wasn't spoiled on those. I wish I didn't know about Kuro. I wish I didn't know that these characters were in this game. I was spoiled that Elaine was in this game in some way, because not only Beauty's Blade, but when I went onto the wiki for some reason, I think I was looking for an image of her for something. I don't remember. It said she's in Reverie as well, Hajimari as well, which is like, oh come on, you know. But those scenes were still very good regardless of that. I just wish I wasn't spoiled and I couldn't put 2 and 2 and 3 and 4 together, you know. But regardless, that's the end of Trails into Reverie. I don't see myself playing this game again, even if I do want to see if I can 100% some things. Next up! I knew I had heard this jingle before. I wasn't sure if it was from Reverie, but I think it's from Kuro, and that was basically like Elaine's theme in some regard. But I'll have to see how it is later. Regardless. I'll see you soon. I won't be starting this game immediately. And it will be in Japanese.
So there's a few things about this playthrough that's going to be different when I do get to it. But I don't think I've actually felt excited for playing a Trails game in a while. And to be completely transparent, I did try the demo for this game a while ago, so I know what I'm in for when it comes to gameplay. I have recorded that demo tryout, but I'm not sharing it publicly, mainly because it was like a sort of personal reason I tried the demo. But this is sort of the game I've been persisting through Cold Steel for, because I trust that it's going to be good. And it's one of those things I feel like I really want to have a personal playthrough of. I think I'll leave chat up, but I definitely won't be reading out as much dialogue on screen, especially because I don't want to really live translate absolutely everything in games like this where there's so much dialogue. There might still be stuff I translate to myself just so I make sure I understand what's going on. And if anyone is happy to drop by my Kudo streams when I play them, I would definitely deeply appreciate anyone clarifying stuff that maybe I miss or don't understand. But when people talk to me and they go like, oh, I don't like I know Kudo NPC dialogue is good, but like people sometimes say, hey, I wouldn't maybe do minimal NPC dialogue because you're playing in Japanese and you're gonna read it at half speed. I don't think they really get how I feel about this game. Like, I get it, I understand that maybe it might kill the pacing quite a bit if I'm reading at half speed and then also doing everything I can, but I just have this very strong desire to play this game in Japanese, and even if Trails Through Daybreak in English comes out before I play this, I think I still want to play this one in Japanese. Not because of any localization thing, not because of any pettiness or anything. I just want to play it in Japanese. There's no deeper meaning behind it, you know? I'm both excited to play another Trails game that is hopefully really good. It's a clean slate for the series for the most part, and another game in Japanese, because it's been a while since I've done that and I don't want to get too rusty on that. But when that time comes, I'm sure you'll see it. I'm actually kind of planning on doing this one in January. I'm going to take a break from this series for a little while, but I feel like whatever I play right now is going to end up feeling like I'm delaying Kuro. And I kind of just want to get Modern Falcom over and done with at this point. I don't own Kuro 2. I am thinking of grabbing it sometime after Christmas if I can. Nor do I own East 10. But I'll see how I feel, because I have heard enough about Kuro 2 to make me not that enthusiastic about playing it. But especially with Kai no Kiseki on the horizon, I do want to get through Kuro 2 to play that, hopefully closer to release. I'm just tired of waiting, I guess. But I'll be careful to make sure this series doesn't ruin my life. Because that is a real danger with how I've been playing Reverie every day. Granted, I've given myself the break over Christmas, over this Christmas period, so I don't mind. But yes. You don't realize how fucking pumped I am to actually start this game. Pre-story. Oh, hello. It actually tells us the fucking... Oh, that's so cool! Arata no hajimari ga... monogatari ga hajimaru. That's this year. Oh my god. This has this whole fucking series history. This is actually really fucking cool. Oh my god, look at the artwork. Holy shit, holy shit. Oh my god. I've never investigated these. This is so cool. Oh, I have a fucking... I can double check. Oh, this is actually going to be really good. For me, I think. I need to make sure I check up on the Japanese terms for all of these. Like, general things. Because if I don't know what these
it's gonna be hard to actually, yeah. So, Kodai Ibutsu, so relics. Artifact. Okay, it has the fucking, yeah. Yeah, okay. Zamuria Bume. Ancient Zamurian civilization. Alright, that's all sky stuff. Is this all power? Yeah, Doryoku. Okay, that's all power. Gotcha. Yeah, Doryoku. Okay, gotcha. Like, I will brush up on my Japanese terms for these stuff, because as much as I've learned from doing this in Japanese dub, I do need to just double check some of these, like, names, so I can just corroborate what I know in English with Japanese at some point. Oh, hello. Also, hi, Fee and Zin. Okay, I probably shouldn't even look at this. Regardless, actually, I will just double check. So that was Yugekishi, I think. Yeah, Yugekishi, Mikurao Hebi, Soshiki, Kyowakoku Chuo Joho Sho, CID. Okay. I'm surprised I can fucking read all of that. What the fuck? Hercules. I don't know what that is. And Epstein Foundation. Zaidan, I think. Okay. I'm pumped. I'm pumped to play this game. I sit on this title screen a lot just listening to this track, which I know is called In the Dawn. And I know it's by Koguchi. I'm very pumped. I'm ready to leave. I'm ready to leave Hajimari in the back. And it's time to start the new trails next time. Thank you so much for watching my Trails into Reverie playthrough. I'm glad I enjoyed the game. And I will see you all at the start of a new trail. Merry Christmas, everyone. And happy holidays.